Hi, this is Dave Perry and you're watching Retro Gaming Revival live.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Retro Gaming Revival Live. So we're not on a Wednesday; it's a Friday today. It's not at 8; it's at 9 o'clock. It's all a bit strange this week. So I'm not as prepared as Ryan with lots of witty comments about who's on the panel and comparing them to very strange things. So we're just going to dive into it. So we'll just go around who we've got. So we've got our usual panel. We have Mr. Blunners.
Hello, you all right?
From the cupboard under the stairs, we have Mr. Triangle Face there.
Hello.
We have Mr. All Elite Ryan, who is working the magic on the buttons this evening.
Hi, can I just say this first time we're live on YouTube and Facebook, so we're doing a simulcast. I think that's what it's called this evening.
Like WWF and WCW.
Yep.
We'll see how it goes. We have Mr. Vanilla Dorbs.
Greetings.
And we are joined today by the fantastic couple of YouTube retro rivals from Canada.
Hello!
Greetings.
How are you guys doing?
Good.
Not bad. Yourself?
Excellent. We are all breathing regularly, I think, is probably the best way to put it.
I mean, me barely, I think.
Excellent. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining us. It's really, really appreciated.
Yes,
we really
thanks for having us.
No, it's our pleasure. We really like getting to know various people on YouTube, and it's even better when we get to speak to some transatlantic friends as well. So this is really cool for us. Let's just jump straight into it. Let's just go straight into it. So
Sure.
the first thing we generally like to try and talk to people about when we get to speak to them is their early gaming memories. What is it that brought you both either together or as children, or however you got into gaming? What is it that really sort of drew you into the hobby of video games?
Well, I'll start off
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
our answer is going to be a lot shorter.
Shorter. Maybe it'll be a lot more interesting. You don't know.
I'm a typical boy. I started off when Nintendo came out. Before that, I had cousins that had an Atari, so I've been playing games ever since. I didn't have every console when I was a kid, but I wanted every damn console. Now that I can afford it, I try to grab everything I can and try everything or play everything that I want to play. And along the way, we decided, well, I say we decided, but it was actually my son and I.
Yeah.
We're gonna start up a YouTube channel. He was big into gaming, and the name Retro Rivals was supposed to be his modern games against my retro games, and we were going to compare them every week. We were going to play each other's games and compare them. You know, what do we like? What do we don't like? And as every typical, how old was he?
He was
eight?
just on the cusp. No, he was
No?
just on the cusp of 12.
Oh,
How
okay.
long do you
I don't
think
know.
we've been on YouTube?
It feels like it's been for a long time. But anyway, like he
I don't even know who
lasted maybe a week, a week or two, and then he was out. So then I kind of convinced my wife. I said, "Well,
Well,
would you want to be in on it?"
when they started it, I was like, listen, I'm a behind the camera editor, lighting, videographer, you name it. That's my job. I'm not getting in front of the camera. And
That's how it
like,
starts.
within 2 to 3 weeks. And I was like, okay, I guess this is my YouTube channel now.
Yeah.
Were you like,
Took
get
over
out
like
the
a
way, get out
typical
the
one.
way, get out.
Yeah, but like,
Now it's her channel.
Yeah.
See, we learned real quick there that if you put my ugly mug on the thumbnail, it doesn't get as many views.
That's what we're doing wrong.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
Means to just replace all of us with our wives, and I think this could work out really well.
Or Dorbs could put a bit of lippy on and, a wig.
It's
That
not
might,
Saturday, mate.
I mean, if you want to run and do that right now, I would laugh.
Oh, yeah.
I second that, Dorbs. I'm kind of interested to see how that turns out.
Does the rest of the panel want to weigh in? Because I feel like
you're breaking up. I can't hear you. You're breaking up.
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Sorry.
Shocking. So your sort of love of video games sort of really started with Nintendo. Would that be like the NES system that sort of kicked it off for you?
Yeah, I have not a huge collection of NES stuff right now, but that's where I started. That's where my love of video gaming started, was Nintendo, and then also the arcade games back when I was a kid, right? So I come right into the country, so we would have to drive in probably a half an hour into a small town to get groceries, and there'd be a little arcade there, and that's where I'd get my arcade time. But other than that, it was Nintendo, the NES stuff, and I get maybe 1-2 games a year, Christmas, birthday,
and then trade.
Yeah, you trade, and then you could rent some stuff. Maybe you're lucky you can get to rent a new game there for a couple days on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's quite a lot of our experiences over here in the UK as well. Is you'd get a game for your birthday, maybe Christmas if you were lucky as well.
Yeah.
And then other than that, it was just you trade them in for the new games. You trade them with your friends, and just that is just how we managed to play games as a kid.
I think it's weird, isn't it? Because like back then, you would almost kind of organise with your friends. You didn't buy the same games, so you could like go around your mate's house. Your mate would have a SNES, you would have a Mega Drive or whatever, and you'd go around your mate's house to play. Whereas like nowadays, you kind of organise with your friends that you buy the same game, so you can play them online.
Yeah,
that's
true.
Like,
what game are we going to get? Let's make sure we get the same ones. Just back then, it's like, I've got this game, don't buy it, buy something else, and then you can kind of share them around a bit. So I used to rent and swap and stuff all the time back then.
Or if you had an Amiga, you just used Xcopy and copied all the games. So
you did.
I didn't.
You made backups. You made backups of games you already owned.
I got a question for all you guys.
Obviously. Yeah.
Does anybody still, how you're trading games with friends, back when we were kids? Does anybody still have a game of somebody else's?
No.
There's
I've got the Gears of War. It's not like
really old ones. But I've got something like the 360. I think I've got the Gears of War. I've got all the Gears of War games, but I'm pretty sure I only bought the first one. But like now, all of Gears of War is on like Xbox Games Pass, so I can't remember who I borrowed it off of, but they haven't asked it back.
I tell a lie. Nintendo's got it now. That copy of USA '94 that I gave you on Game Boy, or that you brought for me, that a month or so ago, that was my friends from school who I haven't seen for about 20 odd years. So
that's like if they leave beer. If they leave beer in your fridge over the weekend and they don't come back for it, it's yours now. So that's the same thing.
There's got to be a timeline on that. I lent a magazine once to a friend which had the fatalities of Mortal Kombat, and this is like before the internet really, and it had all the Mortal Kombat 3 fatalities written in the book, and they borrowed the game and the magazine. They lost the magazine. I never got it back. And I mean, now I can Google it and figure it out. But back then, I can't believe I've lost my fatalities book. I was gutted. But then the internet came around and I got them back. So
that was almost. I mean, you'll learn very quickly. We like to deviate and sidetrack very, very quickly.
We do the same thing.
We do the same thing.
Tim saying that, it just reminds me. I can't remember which magazine it was, but it came with something called the Mortal Kombat Bible, and it was just a cheap like paperback book. And I remember going to school with that, and it had all the fatalities for Mortal Kombat 2. It was like I'd achieved God mode. I'd achieved God mode. Everyone just trying to photocopy this on the school photocopier and getting in trouble because it clearly wasn't what we were meant to be doing it for. But
I remember getting the Mortal Kombat fatalities, the first one written on a piece of paper at school. But then how many of us could actually do them? Like you'd have it, you'd be like, right, come on. Every time.
There's one I can do every time because it's with Liu Kang. It's just forward, down, low kick, and he does the fireball thing. And I just committed that to memory. And then the other day, I had my arcade cabinet out and was playing with my nephew, and he's about like sort of 12, 13. And I beat him at Mortal Kombat, and then we said, and it was what? I'd like fatality to him. And it's just like, what?
Was he gutted?
He just couldn't believe
supposed to let him win, Tim.
You're supposed to. Not let my nephews win. I'm not letting my own kids win.
They need to learn a lesson. They need to learn that lesson.
They already win at everything. Here's your participation trophy. Did I win? No.
No, I'll tell you.
I think it was just amazed that I just knew a fatality by heart, and I didn't have to look it up or anything. So I just know that fatality.
See, I still remember ABA, CABB, A start or something at the start of Mortal Kombat on the Mega Drive was to get the gore mode. That's like stuck in my brain for the rest of my life.
Well, there is a code on Premier Manager 2 when you remember the secretary. You went to the secretary and there's a phone, and you can dial in certain codes. And if you touched certain parts of her body, depending on your reputation, she either went or ooh. Yeah, that's a good cheat. Honestly, if you Google it, honestly, it's a true cheat. I'm going to load it and I'll show you. Honestly, 100%.
I'll find it before the end of the stream.
I'll find a link. Yeah, Premier Manager 2.
Yes, do it.
Yes.
Honestly,
So you said the NES.
I'll tell you the code. I'll tell you the code.
Well, yeah, growing up, and even when I decided to start collecting games, because we've been collecting now for maybe about 5 years, or maybe a little more.
Yeah.
That's the first one I started collecting for, because I wanted to get all the couch co-op stuff that I loved when I was a kid for me and my son to play, right? So I went from the NES, and then I went straight into the Sega Genesis, which I think is the Mega Drive for you guys, right? Yeah. So those were my consoles when I was a kid there, so I had to get those games because I wanted to share those experiences with my son. So
yeah.
Cool.
What type of games? What were your favorites?
Oh, let's get into the NES stuff first. Then, I'll go with couch co-op stuff because that's the stuff I grabbed in my collection first for my son.
Yeah.
One of the top ones was Double Dragon 2. Jackal was there. I had to get Mario 3 because my son had to experience that. And another one that comes to my mind, and it's such a weird thing, is I had to get Duck Hunt, and I had to get a CRT. And we have a video of my son playing a light gun game for the first time and was just blown away. He's just like, what the hell? I can shoot the TV. This is amazing.
Oh, yeah. He kept saying, Mom, did I get a high score? Can you take a video? He was very excited.
Couldn't believe it. This is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's really cool. I mean, Blunner's asking that question kind of segues us into, I guess, the next sort of area that we were going to look to try and discuss with you. Because again, this is something else we like to ask people quite a lot, because it gives you an insight into who you are if we're going to dive deep into it.
Yeah.
And that is your favorite games and your favorite systems for those games. So if you have one that is like your particular like holy grail, that's the one that is just, it's God mode activated, nothing can go wrong with this system.
Okay.
Or if you have a variety, like you said, there's a couple that you quite enjoy.
Well, yeah, there's always a bunch.
Yeah.
There's that we've actually have to do a video response to
Retro
Mikey 78. He did his top 10,
and then he tagged us.
Yeah, all-time games.
Why would you do that?
And I kept saying,
friends.
Well, that's going to be the most difficult thing for me to pick, my top 10 games.
It's almost impossible.
Like, there are going to be games that I want in there and I can't get in there, right? So let's go. I'll start on the NES and I'll work my way up. We'll do a few consoles till you get sick of them there. So on the NES would be Double Dragon 2 for me. Now, I absolutely love that. One of those games I owned when I was a kid. I could have... when I was a kid, I was beating that game. Like, I'm sure I know Death run that all the time. Like, it was like when I say I owned it, I owned that game. I can't do it now though. I can only go on Warrior. I can't go on Supreme Warrior.
I know.
I got to though. I have to. It's like a bucket list thing there. My old man strength's got to kick in here. I gotta go back and beat that Supreme Warrior that's pissing me off. So that's my favorite. What's your favorite NES game?
It's split because I have nostalgia with Bubble Bobble and playing with my brother. We would rent Bubble Bobble and just try to get through all of those levels. And I'm like, why do my parents rent it so much? Why didn't they just buy it? Because I'm pretty sure they spent more
Probably
renting
could have bought it twice.
Yeah. And then I have, I know not everybody loves it, but I really love Super Mario 2. It's almost a tie for me between 2 and 3 because it's different, and I liked it because it was different.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Super Mario 2 is actually the one game I lent somebody as a kid and never got back. I don't even remember who it went to.
My Double Dragon 2 got lent to, and I know exactly who got lent to because I still have his bases loaded to, and in font. It's like I erased the name off at some point, and it's like, but Darren Underhill, you have my Double Dragon 2. Bring it back, please. I'll trade you.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's why he asked you guys that question, because he has.
Oh yeah, because that's the one game. It's one of those. The one game I kept from when I was a kid. It was Basis Loaded 2, and it should have been my Double Dragon 2. Yeah. Let's go on to my next console. After that would have been the Sega Genesis, but it would be Super Nintendo for you.
Yeah.
Streets of Rage 2 is my favorite on that console. But Golden Axe 2 is like right behind it there.
Oh yeah.
I love both those games.
That's great.
And Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest all day long.
That is a good game.
Oh, it's my favorite. I love the whole series though. It's really, really good. But yeah, I remember we didn't have the console, and I was like, plug your ears. I was emulating it. And I was staying up all hours of night playing it, and he would say, "Are you coming to bed?" I'm like, "No, never. I have to beat this level." And I would just stay up, and like I would see the time, like 3 a.m. I'm like, "No, I don't have to get up till 7. I don't have kids, so I just keep playing." But yeah, I love Donkey Kong Country.
Brilliant.
I think for me, played that on the. Sorry, go on.
No, go on. I was going to say the thing with both of those games, Streets of Rage 2 and even just the entire Donkey Kong Country series for me, is the soundtracks for both of those games.
Oh, yes.
I mean, they're two very different soundtracks.
Yes.
I couldn't imagine, playing Streets of Rage with the Donkey Kong soundtrack playing, but it's just it's so upbeat and so happy, and yet Streets of Rage 2 soundtrack is just it's cool.
It's awesome.
It's 90s cool, but it's.
I think on Streets of Rage 4, correct me if I'm wrong, you can put the Streets of Rage 2 soundtrack on it, can't you? Or the original soundtrack?
I know you can go like retro, and you can make all this. And I don't know if you can pick that. I don't know. Maybe it was something.
Like I know we played through it, but we just.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, it might not be specific to, but I'm sure you can change the music so it's.
You can change it to retro, it's more of a 16-bit kind of sound. Now, when it comes to sound between the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, which ones do you guys prefer? Because I grew up, I had a Genesis. So to me, I love the sound on the Genesis, but most people say that Super Nintendo sounds better.
Yeah.
I disagree.
For me, it is, but it is because I grew up with Super Nintendo. My friend had a Mega Drive, so we played Sega and Nintendo at each other's houses. But the one game for me that I think we've said this on a stream before, everybody always says they prefer the Earthworm Jim soundtrack on the Mega Drive or the Genesis because it's got that more BE blocky bassy feel to it. But for me, because I grew up with Earthworm Jim on the Super Nintendo, when I hear the Mega Drive Genesis soundtrack, it just sounds weird.
Really?
It's just missing bits for me.
I think my favorite soundtrack.
Didn't Tommy Tallarico explain to us there was different layers, wasn't there?
Yeah. He said the Genesis one, the Mega Drive one, is the version that he prefers because it's got bass sounds, and the bass actually sounds like a bass rather than Super Nintendo where it sounds like a band. It was very strange.
I wouldn't necessarily say that. I wouldn't necessarily say the Mega Drive has got a better sound quality than the SNES, but I think my favourite soundtrack for games from that era was the Sonic the Hedgehog games, like Sonic 3 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Had some really good soundtracks to it. I really like a lot of the songs from there. I think
did Michael Jackson do the music, and that's why they can't re-release it. And
really?
Yeah, now I think.
Really?
He was only named on it fairly recently, wasn't he? It was only like a few.
And that's why it's not on the Mega Drive Classic and things, isn't it?
When it came out, he didn't like how well the sound quality came out on the console. It wasn't really. He didn't think it was good enough, so he didn't want his name associated to it. And then it only came out after he died. I think that he actually did the music for Sonic 3.
Oh wow! I didn't know that. That's
Right. I've actually got a Premier Manager 2 update. So I found the clip. Okay. So let's get this going on the screen.
I mean, we're past the watershed in the UK, aren't we? So we're all good.
Right. So there's the telephone.
Here we go. We can do it like this now. It looks a bit nicer, doesn't it?
That's a bit nicer. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So you type in the secret phone number.
Not a secret anymore.
And depending on your reputation, there you go.
You getting the sound with that?
Yeah. If your reputation is high,
murdering her.
If your reputation is high, this is how shallow that secretary is. If it's high, She goes, ooh, ooh.
She goes like, what? What?
I'll see if I can find a clip with her groaning. But yeah, if your reputation is high, we actually likes
Sexual
it.
harassment, the video game.
Yeah. She's very shallow. She bases her preferences on how successful you are. She's a bit shallow.
Is he almost winner?
Can I just say, not all English soccer or football managers like that, or I've never known one who's participated in activities
Just
like
the ones
that.
in video games.
Yes.
Oh man.
So there you go.
So
I used to play a very interesting version of Tetris in university. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. You just replace the
Just say it.
sextress.
Ooh,
Instead of matching blocks, you're matching people.
Matching people up in the positions there as they fall down.
Oh, I'm gonna look that up.
I gotta download that.
You'll have to live stream that
Per
one.
level, you unlock a picture.
We've missed out on something here. Yeah.
This looks amazing. This looks so good.
Speaking of unlocking a picture, have you guys? There's a couple. Well, I think there's actually 3 NES games that are a little on the risque side. There, one of them is called Bubble Bath Babes.
Bubble Bath Babes.
And that's basically kind of like what's the it's not Bejeweled, is it? But not Bejeweled, but you're like you're shooting and you're matching up colors. It's a kind of a weird version of it, and you get to a certain score, and then you see her in like a bikini, and then you get to a certain score, and and there's also another one that's a poker game, right?
Yeah. Oh, I can't remember what it's called.
She was really good at it, though.
We were really motivated to complete it one night, both of those games. And we were supposed to be playing something else, and me and Dennis were like, no, we're like 2 into this. We need to complete it.
I need to see those 8-bit movies.
It's quite the game.
So with like I guess with the 16-bit era, where did you guys go from that with childhood? Did you go down the N64 route, the PlayStation route, or were anyone lucky enough to jump on the Sega Saturn? Or
No, I missed it on Saturn. My next console after that was the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
And she bought it for me literally 6 months before the PlayStation 2 came out.
Yeah, and then I got you a PlayStation 2.
They got me PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a lot of experience with the PlayStation 1.
No.
But I can tell you what my favorite game is on PlayStation 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's Parasite Eve. Parasite
Ooh.
Eve. I love that game.
That is a good game. Did we get Parasite Eve in PAL format? I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, it might have been called something else.
I think you might be right, because I think one of our other YouTube friends there from overseas keeps telling me just to give it up there. Like, give it up, Scott. There
Generation Pixel?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think
maybe you guys got it.
Yeah, maybe you guys didn't get it. Because he keeps wanting a remake.
Yeah, we definitely got 2.
On emulator.
Yeah, we definitely got 2. I know that much, but
there's a big difference
between Parasite Eve.
Yeah, Parasite Eve 1 and Parasite Eve 2, there's a big difference how they play.
Oh,
Parasite Eve 2 plays like Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parasite Eve, the first one, is completely different.
Well, it's almost turn-based combat style.
Almost.
Kind of.
Still run around. It's. I've never played anything like it. So
if
anybody watching knows another game that plays the same kind of combat, let me know.
Yeah.
I would love to play another game.
Yeah.
I have to go Castlevania Symphony of the Night all the way.
Okay.
All the way.
Yeah.
It is
loved it.
Very good game. Unless anybody owns it or has it from childhood, I think the likelihood of picking that up for a decent price now is
Have you
expensive.
got a copy in your collection, or have you not managed to get a copy?
Me?
We have a copy. Yeah.
We have one
copy.
Yeah. She actually bought it for
Father's Day.
A Father's Day gift for me
Last year.
Yeah.
I bought it for him for Father's Day, and then I played it first.
You bought it for yourself, really?
I bought it for myself.
So that's what you do. You buy gifts for someone, knowing they don't like it, and they give it to you.
Yeah, kind of like our son used to do anytime we had. Like, I remember he bought you Dinky Cars one year.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah, like a chocolate bar or something I couldn't eat.
Yeah, he's lactose intolerant. He's like, Dad, here's a chocolate bar you can't have.
Dad, you can't eat it. Can I have it? Yeah, go ahead.
It's a classic kids move. That is like it.
And it's the best. I would rather than spend $20, like just buying the strangest stuff, and getting nothing that you really you just have those.
But
memories.
it's a funner memory than
Yeah.
him buying me a tile everywhere, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing. Yeah, no one likes ties for Father's Day. They just can't do it.
Nah.
No.
So after that sort of era, what was your jump from then? Did you stick with PlayStation, or did
Yeah,
you venture
PS2.
across?
Yeah.
We literally went from PS1 right to PS2,
Yeah.
like within 6 months of each other. So,
Mhm.
and it's hard for me to pick a PS2 game that is my favorite.
Yeah.
But it might be the SmackDown games. There's 3 of them that I love.
Classic.
Just Bring It. Is that the first one? Just Bring It. And then Here Comes the Pain or Shut Your Mouth. I think Here Comes the Pain was the third one there. But I loved those 3 before they went to the Raw versus SmackDown. Yeah. Those 3 games.
So many hours into SmackDown. Here
Oh,
Comes the Pain.
We
so many hours in that game.
I used to invite people over, and we would have like a Friday night, like 6 guys drinking and fighting and swearing. And, like we were talking like 6-8 hours there. I'm sure the neighbors hated us.
Can I just thank you, because I always have those games up there. Nobody's ever appreciated them before.
I noticed
so
it as soon as you came on there. I'm like, oh.
What about the Legends of Wrestling games? Fans?
I like them, but I'm really nostalgic for the SmackDown games before they changed into SmackDown versus Raw. But those first 3 ones there, those are my favorite.
Yeah, you used to use like a lot of the WWE characters to play as, or do you make a lot of creator wrestlers and do your own?
Well, that's the thing. We played it so much, you couldn't put it on a difficulty that was hard enough for us, so that I would make guys that were completely maxed out on their stats. Mm-hmm. And then me and my buddy, we would have like, I think it would be a 6-man or 8-man like battle royal style where it's all pinfalls, and all the guys are maxed out, and we would random characters ourselves, so we might get like Trish Stratus or something like that. And so there's 2 of us working together to try to survive down to like 4 of us. What our goal was to get down to the 2 of us together, and then we would fight it out. That was the goal. Yeah.
Like, one thing I used to really like on SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, was it's before they introduced like voiceovers, and in the story mode they would swap the characters out, so you could have a generic story, but it wouldn't always be with the same wrestlers. And you could then do a career mode, but you replace the entire roster with creator wrestlers. And then you would have these like randomized storylines with your creator wrestler characters. And I spent ages just playing through that. So you'd get all these storylines, and the belts would be back and forth. And that was what I spent a lot of time doing. It was like you had your own wrestling company.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I'm a very easy character to
oh my god
create there. Red beard. There, that's Scott.
Every time you have to create a character, Scott is so easy to create.
Right now we're playing Super Mega Baseball there on the Xbox, and we're like, okay, well, let's create a Retro Rivals ball club there, and we'll play a season. We'll get in the playoffs. So we put us all in there, and then Dennis is making me, and he's like, all right, bald, a little chubby, red beard. Ha! Look at it, looks like Scott.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Amazing. So I'm in the minority here. Wrestling was something I never really got into, and therefore never really played many of the games. But the game that I wrestling played quite a lot of was WCW versus NWO Revenge on the N64.
Yeah.
Which I now, a lot of people do hail that as one of those great wrestling games, which I just as a kid thought was fun because the controls played well. But wrestling games are just things that just totally bypass me, probably because I wasn't overtly into the wrestling side of things either. So I do feel like I've kind of missed out on like a whole series of like really fun team games.
Yeah.
As Canadians, who's the greatest Canadian wrestler of all time? Because I'm sure
Rick the Hitman Hart.
Yeah, the best there was.
The best there was, the best there ever will be.
I feel like we were talking about that one time too on our stream.
We were on a stream with Quapla Nerds, and they kept saying that Bret Hart's Canada's sweetheart. I said, no, fuck no. And they're like, what? No, Ryan Reynolds is Canada's sweetheart. Bret Hart is Canada's champion. Okay?
Canada's champion.
And the greatest match of all time, British Bulldog, Bret Hart, SummerSlam '92 at Wembley football stadium.
Over here.
Yeah. The only pay-per-view, like proper pay-per-view we've ever had in this country, and we're still waiting. We're still waiting since 1992. Yeah.
They still made so much money as well.
Yeah, they did do pay-per-views over here, but what would happen?
They were
They'd have
house
a
shows,
pay-per-view-
weren't they?
Yeah, they would have
Glorified
a
house
pay-per-view,
shows.
but there would be no title changes because it wouldn't be shown in America and stuff. So you always knew that if there was a title match, you knew that it wasn't going to change hands because the next fight on Raw it would have
Apart
the same champion.
Apart from 1-9 only. Apart from that one.
Really?
Yeah.
That was when Shawn Michaels beat British Bulldog, wasn't it?
Yeah, buddy, it was right old screw.
For the Intercontinental title?
Yeah.
European.
Was it?
European title.
Oh, European title.
Oh, okay.
Because that's what Vince McMahon does. He screws wrestlers in their own countries.
It's a theme, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
See, there was a lot of words said there, none of which I resonated with me. I had no idea what was going on. I know who British Bulldog is. I pretty much know who Bret Hart is. No, I know who British Bulldog is.
Oh, you know, right.
And I know Bret Hart and all the big ones like Hulk Hogan and all that kind of stuff. But,
yeah.
As soon as you start talking about like title, my brain just went. Huh?
I know older school wrestling, all the stuff new today. I don't know any of their names, but I used to watch it with Scott.
I really stopped watching it probably at least 10 years ago.
You and everybody else.
It's rubbish now. It's boring.
It is.
Yeah.
It's not. Still good.
I watch it now.
I have a hard time getting invested into the wrestlers now. I find there's not too many of those big like gladiator style guys there. You don't have your Brock Lesnar's and your Goldbergs and those just larger than life, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. You don't have those guys now. I find.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
He was just roided up like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
Move.
Allegedly.
He just couldn't move. He was so big. Oh, allegedly. He was so big.
I quite like there's that period in time where a lot of wrestlers decided they wanted to prove that they could actually fight. And you get people like Brock Lesnar who'd go over to the UFC and actually do really well at being able to show, I can fight. And then you had CM Punk, who I didn't know as a wrestler, but I just knew he was a wrestler, just came in and got his head weaved into the canvas twice.
Yeah, didn't go very well, did it, for him?
And I think everybody just went, don't do it again. You've got the respect of everyone. You tried.
Yeah.
I think he did fight twice, though, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
He did. And he was an ass whipping both times there, yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have a good time either one. I don't think he did a lot of training for it. I remember seeing in all the the pre-fight videos and stuff, he's just sort of like, I'm going to really rely on my wrestling skills. It's like, you might want to learn to fight a little bit. Like wrestling's fine. Be that your thing, but maybe learn to throw a punch or two.
He's not been that great since he's come back to AEW. Punk. I
haven't gotten a chance to see it.
Yeah,
I don't have the ability to watch AEW, but I hear nothing but good things.
Yeah.
But,
who was telling us that? Someone was saying that too.
Marcus.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I think that's basically what Ryan's exclusively moved over to almost, isn't it? You basically...
I did, and then my 7-year-old daughter's got into WWE, so now I watch SmackDown, Raw, and AEW. So basically, my whole week is just filled with watching wrestling.
Wrestling!
That's awesome, though, that she's into it.
Oh, yeah,
you guys can
big
share
time
that
into
together.
it. Yeah.
That's
Like
awesome.
yesterday
we
watched... What was it yesterday? Crown Jewel, which was on at 5 o'clock in the UK. So they're out in Saudi Arabia, and that was a 5-hour pay-per-view that she sat through. Whoa. 7 years old, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, definitely takes after me, I think.
I don't even have that ability to sit through anything for 5 hours.
I haven't seen you sit 5 hours in your life.
I don't. I'm like, time to do something, and I got to get up and, I don't know, mess with something. I do sit well, though, when I'm playing a game. And then I don't want any of you to bug me.
Getting her into the YouTube and then starting playing games as a hobby, because she had to start playing games, right? Couldn't just be a pretty face.
No, I need to know
This was the best
stuff.
thing for her, because this woman has more hobbies than she knows what to do with. She doesn't know how to relax. Her relaxing is, well, I'm going to paint today. I'm like, you're going to make a painting. How's that relaxing there? Her relaxing, I'm doing more work. My hobbies are work. But when she started playing games, she actually had to sit down and get invested in a story and play a game. And it's been, I think, great for you. Like,
I think it has been too. But I do get very invested to where the point if that basement door opens, I'm like, please leave. I don't want to be bugged. I'm just like, leave me. I'm like fighting a boss right now. You're messing up my mojo. You're ruining it.
It goes a lot worse than that.
It does go a lot worse.
What do you want? What do you want?
I do think that is That is the magic of I think certainly more modern gaming anyway. If you like, the retro games are still great because they've got nostalgia and fun, but a lot of the modern games now have got the stories that are just so where you like you say you can just invest
Immersive.
yourself for
Yeah.
10 hours, 20 hours, 150 hours, and the characters you genuinely end up really caring for. So when not particularly nice things happen to them, it's borderlining traumatic.
It is.
It can be. Yeah.
It can be. Yeah. I'm a PS4 girl all the way.
Oh my God,
but I think I just got into gaming late. Like I dabbled when I was younger, but nothing like the last couple years. I just want to play I love my PS4. I can't help it. The graphics are there. The game, it's probably one of the greatest systems, in my opinion.
In your opinion.
But I hear a lot of even retro people.
Keyboard warriors everywhere. Watch this. I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
But even people that love retro will still say that the PS4 competes with, their favorite retro console. And I haven't played a game really, well, for the most part, Ed's Diner or whatever the hell it's called. Joe's Diner. It changes depending on my mood. But most games I've played on the PS4 are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I love them all.
Yeah.
I saw your Halloween video.
Yeah.
That you put up and you mentioned Days Gone.
Oh.
Amazing game.
Yeah. So good.
Amazing. I didn't really understand it because I always skip the cutscenes. So I didn't really understand what was going on. I love it.
Appreciate the game then.
The
you know what though? I have a hard time sitting through some of those cutscenes too. I tend to skip. I miss a lot of story because I just want to be fighting shit. I'm just like, let me fight some stuff. I'm done with this story.
I'm the opposite. I want to know. I want to know what's going on. Yeah. And that's probably why I fell off of Days Gone. I was only about 20 hours in. I still haven't picked it up yet. Because it's
you're missing
kind
a great
of
game.
Drawn out. It's a little.
You're the reason we're not getting a Days Gone.
Yes, I know. I heard this, but it overstayed its welcome with me there a little bit there.
Yeah, you would have played through it. You would have enjoyed it.
I know.
Really, really good.
It was probably about a 10-hour span of I had to push through, and I just didn't have that push in me.
That's a brilliant game. I love it.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
It's one I haven't gone to yet. I know it's on the PS5 as part of like the PS5 handover collection, so it's there in the background for me. I'm convinced they're going to do a PS5 remaster where they'll tinker with it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
It might be the best zombie game that you can get.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's really good. Well, it just treats it so much better than most zombie games that I've played, where they really put that intensity and stress on you with the hordes. Like, I've never played anything like that.
They're not walking.
There are a few other.
They will come running at you. They never call them zombies in the game.
No.
What do they call them? I can't remember now. Remember? Anybody?
I can't remember.
I can't remember.
Freakers or something like that?
Freakers are certain kinds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, they come full blast. What is it? Dawn of the Dead. There is that the movie? Well, they run
the remake
wide
one where they run.
The remake one where they run wide open at you. That's what this game is like.
What about the one with Will Smith?
Oh,
no.
World War Z.
Not with Will Smith. But World War Z with Brad Pitt. But they do run at you too.
Oh, you're on about I Am Legend.
I Am Legend
was a good one too.
Yeah.
So they sort of run like your version of Linford Christie. They would be Donovan Bailey, so they sort of run like him.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So quick. So quick. You have to be on your motorbike to get out there.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I'm glad you picked Donovan Bailey.
Yeah.
As the 100 meters runner.
Yeah.
Rather than. Yeah.
Yeah, we gloss over that one.
Yeah. So one of my favorite zombie games is Zombie U on the Wii U. I think you can get on other ones, but the thing with the one on the Wii U was I loved that when you wanted to go into inventory, the game wouldn't pause. So you had to look at the tablet and do stuff on the tablet, and there'll be zombies coming at you. Like, because it was kind of simulating, like, there's zombies around, you're looking in your bag, but if a zombie comes at you, you have to, like, look up from the tablet and fight them. But there's a brilliant two-player mode where one player would have a nunchuck and a stick, would be doing a first-person shooter game on the TV. It's like survival game. The other player will be playing a top-down tower defense style game with a tablet, spawning zombies, and they'd be like the zombie master. So the two players had a completely different gaming experience, but they were playing against each other.
That's really cool.
At the end of a round, you'd be like, do you want to play again the same roles or play again but swap roles? And you just swap controllers over and you'd like do it again. And the zombie master with the tablet thing was absolutely brilliant. It's great fun. And then in the meantime, you're just playing a tower defense game by yourself, and you can hear your friend sat next to you going, "Oh my god, what's going on? No, why is he over there?" And he's like trying to play to it. It's really, really unique game.
We have it, but we still haven't played it. But I mean, that's
if you've got it, play the multiplayer. The multiplayer is absolutely brilliant. Great fun for that mode. It's really good fun. Really good, really good idea and really unique. I've not played anything like that before.
We'll have to try it. Have you guys tried any of the VR games?
I can't do them. I tried Resident Evil. Didn't even find.
You started with the wrong one.
I never even found a zombie. I just took the thing off straight away. I was like, "I can't do this.
That's too real."
I love that one. Love it.
Resident Evil 7 is what made me buy a PS VR setup.
Was it?
My mate had it. He said, "Bring Resident Evil over. We'll see what it's like." We put it on, and as we started walking around, it's like, this is the closest thing to walking around the set of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and just immediately went home and bought a VR set. It was
crazy. I think actually I've got the Oculus Quest 2 and a PSVR, but PSVR is really good for like console games that happen to be VR. So if you want to play like a proper game, that's the best one, I think. The Oculus Quest is great for like the gimmicky VR experiences. You want to pick up and play things like when you do a quick game. But I think if you want to sit down with a controller in your hand and play a game, but just in VR, I think the PlayStation VR is really good for that. You've got Resident Evil 7.
For a second version of that. I can't wait till PSVR 2 comes out. I can't wait to see what they do with the graphics. I don't know if they'll be able to get it wireless. That would be cool. That would be very, very cool. We've played Walking Dead, Onslaught, and Saints and Sinners, or Sinners and Saints. I always get it mixed up. Oh my god, both such good games. But if you can start with Onslaught and master that because the controls are easier, like I love both of those, and no nausea. I didn't find any motion sickness with those games. Resident Evil 7 though, whew.
Biohazard.
I'm quite lucky. I never had any nausea with VR.
Oh, that's
people have gone to play it and they just have to take it off because it makes them feel weird. But I've never had an issue with it. I don't know why. I'm just consider myself lucky. It's not.
That's awesome.
There was one game where I thought this might be the one that gives me the feelings. I don't get travel sick, and VR doesn't really bother me. But I got Iron Man VR. I thought, so most of that game is going to be flying. So I figured if I start on the ground and I have to take off, that might be something that makes me feel a bit weird. And sort of load it in, get it going, and it's like you just start out on top of like a platform. It's like pull the triggers to fly. You're like, oh shit. And it didn't like gradually take you up. It fucking shoots you up quick. And I just remember looking down going, oh shit, and let go of the triggers and started falling and getting that sensation of
free fall.
We have it, but I
have it. I've got a bunch of games I still have to put some time into.
It's a real dick to load.
The one called Riggs.
Riggs is good fun.
Because I got PSVR when it first came out, and I think I had Riggs, and I remember just running, jumping, and then I just basically threw up. My stomach just fell down. As I fell, I actually thought I was falling, and my stomach just came up into my mouth, and I was just like, "Oh my god, I don't think I can handle this."
And what's it called?
No,
because it felt like because I was running and jumping in the game, it felt like I'd actually jumped down a ditch. Because you have to jump down and you look down. I mean, it was one game I looked down and my body was like an alien, and then I pressed the button and I slid to the side, and that made me go as well. And I was like, oh man, I really want to play these games, but I literally
you can't do it if you feel that way, can you?
I wish you guys could be in our game room when our friend Dennis plays Roller Coaster Tycoon. It is the best time you're gonna have.
Absolutely loses his mind. It's
he
hilarious.
Full sweat, grips the chair, freaks out. It's a blast. He's played it twice. He said he would never play it again, and then he played it a second time. So I feel like if he said he never played it again the first time and he played it a second time, we could probably get him to play it the third time.
It's weird. Your brain doesn't know. Like you're in the roller coaster and you go, but you feel like you're up high and all that, but when it stops, we're sitting in a chair. When it stops, your body wants to go like this, like the momentum. You're like, what the hell? What the hell's wrong with my brain?
My brain can't get away from the fact it isn't real, because I can't even do that shark game on VR. You know, the demo when you just go down in the cage. As soon as the shark comes, I'm like, nope, not doing that. I just can't do it.
So the Wipeout Omega collection is really good. So I already had Wipeout Omega, and they released a free update which made it compatible with VR. And I just saw an article on my phone that said, "Oh, stop what you're doing now and play Wipeout in VR." Was like the subject of the article. It's like, I think I'll do that. And I literally just went and had to go, and it was a free download. It's brilliant. You're in the cockpit and you go, and it's Wipeout Omega collections, obviously all the old ones as well, isn't it? So
nice.
That's brilliant fun. Like,
I wonder
really
how nauseous
fast
that would make me though.
Can we get that over here, or is that a PAL only? Or
I don't know.
Even if it is PAL only, you'll be able to play it.
I can still download it digitally.
Yeah, you can download a digital one. Yeah, I think it was free on
Yeah.
Games with Gold, a little, whatever the PlayStation Network Plus, whatever it's called.
Oh shit!
yeah.
Let's
It's
check
free on
it
that
out.
a while ago.
I've tried to play Wipeout on was it on PSP?
Oh,
And I was like,
Wipeout.
no, I'm going to throw up. I couldn't even do it on PSP, so I don't know how I'm going to do it on PSVR. It was too much.
I think there's a video there waiting to happen for you guys
Oh.
to
Yeah, right.
Wipeout.
try and wipe out in VR.
We'll just
I
have a
think that's
bucket
it.
at my feet and see who
Yeah.
throws up first.
Wipeout is a horrible game to control anyway. The original
hard,
one.
isn't it? It is quite
It's
hard.
difficult, yeah.
It's difficult,
I think
yeah.
what you need to do is my advice for Wipeout is you pick a car that's really or vehicle that's really fast with bad handling, and you keep playing that as long as you can manage, and you won't be very good. Then you change to a slower vehicle with really good handling, and you're way better. Because
Oh,
used
that's
to
a
the
good
terrible handling,
strategy.
practice with something with terrible handling, then let yourself have something with good handling, and you're immediately better at it.
Okay.
That's my top tip for Wipeout.
Maybe we could add a segment, Tim's top tips.
Tim's top
Oh.
Yeah, I can see a new video coming for that.
ETTs.
I need like a little
Yeah.
intro for me as well. Like the
I've already got one. Already got one in
Tim's
mind.
top tips. No laser eyes this time.
When you
Amazing.
first said Wipeout, I was like, the show on TV? Like,
the
I
balls.
didn't. Yes.
Yeah, big
My
balls.
dad was actually on Wipeout Canada.
What?
Amazing.
What?
Way
That is
back.
amazing.
Ah,
Way
so
back.
Yeah,
Did you
well,
make
that
it?
had to be 10 years ago now.
Yeah, 10
Did he
years
win?
ago.
Did
He
he get to the
did
course?
not win.
He got through the
Ah.
course and everything, and according to him, he thinks he was in like the top couple for time, but it doesn't go like that because he said they wouldn't tell me the time because they want to take the people ahead to the next round that are
One of the most entertaining.
Yes, the most
Oh.
entertaining. There,
Yeah,
it's TV, right?
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So the person that was the most entertaining on the entire show, and the guy that had the fastest time was actually on my dad's episode. So he really had no hope.
No,
Yeah. Chocolate Thunder.
Chocolate Thunder.
Yeah.
Look it up.
I think we're going to have to.
Thunder.
I think that's
Yeah.
going to have to happen.
Make a note of
Amazing.
that.
This feels like a good segue to sort of ask you a next sort of steering question.
Sure.
Sure.
We can see from the background you have there, from your channel, that you have an incredible collection of games. So what is it that got you into sort of collecting games? Because we sort of said earlier, as kids, we would trade games with friends, and you might not get very many games. It's normally when we start getting a bit of disposable outgoing that we can start to sort of do that. So yeah, what is it that got you into collecting games?
I think I have a sickness there because I tend to collect and hoard things that I
does.
love. I started with toys, then I moved on to comics, and then I got into video games.
Well, you know what? I
So-
think you did it that way because you kind of did it through the stages of Alex's life. So
It
he
is,
collected toys when Alex was like old enough to like really appreciate his toys, and then when Alex was starting to read, he's like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, I should get him reading."
Well, let's
started
take
on
him to the
comic.
comic book store.
Yeah,
I came out of there with a comic. He didn't want any.
he didn't want
You
it,
know?
but he did get really into Simpsons comics for
Yeah,
a
he did
while.
for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when Alex was old enough to appreciate games, you
Yeah, I
started
started
collecting games.
Yeah.
And that so nostalgia for you.
Yeah, it's always nostalgia, right? And it's something you dreamed about when you were a kid, and now that you can do it, and I'm lucky enough that I have a wife that'll let me do it.
Well, do you know what? I never really got as deep into the appreciation with the toys and the comic books, although I always enabled.
You collect more games than I do now. You're worse than me.
I'm worse for the games.
She'll impulse buy stuff there. She impulse bought a PS TV. I'm like, why?
Yeah,
Well, I just thought, and I seen a video, and I'm like,
I did. But I love, like, I'll find a game and I'll play it on a system I haven't played before or haven't played a lot of before, and then all of a sudden that'll be the game that makes me search every time I go to the pawn shop. I'm like, hey, I need a new game for this system, or I need this. And oh my god, I didn't think I'd get as deep into it as I did, but it's become a hobby for both of us. We just
or
didn't-
sickness.
Or
I don't know which one it
sickness.
is. But you know what? I say that, but I like my room to be very organized. I like straight lines. I like it, everything to look nice because I like we like to have people in our game room. We like to actually be functional too. I don't want to be somebody that has stacks and stacks of boxes everywhere and it's unorganized. I want it to look aesthetically pleasing at the same time. So I have like this magic number in my head that I don't think I can put more than 1,500 games in my game room, and that's the cutoff.
Yeah.
So if I want to collect more games, like new stuff or old stuff that I don't have yet, then something has to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, that's quite an interesting thing that you bring up there, because it's something that I kind of agree with. I mean, you wouldn't believe it, noticing the sort of horde behind me. And my wife certainly wouldn't agree with me when I say this, because she'd say, you don't do that. But I do think every now and then a purge of things from your collection that you either don't feel an attachment to, you might have bought in a lot because you wanted 2 games out of the 10. And kind of, having that sort of release of certain things, not going for necessary, unless there is something you're really nostalgic for, then having like a complete N64 collection or something. I think that's actually quite a healthy way to look at it. I've got a room that I like to be a particular way, and if I get too much, it's going to not look the way I want it to. So therefore, maybe a rotation or, getting rid of things to get new things. I think that's incredibly healthy as a collector.
It is. It kind of
It's also difficult.
It is difficult. I have a harder time actually with it than he does, because when we did the Halloween or my 13 horror games I played, I was like hot and cold on Still Life on the OG Xbox. I played it. Would I play it again? No. Can I get rid of it? I don't really want to get rid of it.
But I have no room left in my Xbox shelf. I have
true.
What?
Over 200.
250 games there. I have one wall like straight across. That's my Xbox, my original Xbox spot. And the other side is the Xbox 360. Now I have 2 games sitting on the top, and it's driving me crazy. And I have to get rid of 2 games so I can put them in there.
Yeah. I think if more people kind of went with that, I don't know, maybe the hobby would be a slightly better place than it is, because there's a lot of people that go for complete collections, and I can't fathom how they afford it, and b how they store it. There's his channel's great, but the Immortal John Hancock, and his game collection is immaculate, but I think he's got 8 complete collections of things. So 8 I think that includes NES, it includes Mega Drive. Oh my god, it's just How
exactly.
Well, I keep telling myself that, all right, so I have 1,200 something games in here right now. If I try to play through every game, or at least put in enough time to like figure out if I like that game or not, I don't know if I could ever play through them all. Is that even possible? I'm 43 now. Like, clock's ticking, dude. So I don't want to like keep filling up stuff. I don't want a complete collection of anything, because there's lots of filler in every console, right?
I think the only saving grace for me is, though, that when we're gone, this collection will get ported to Alex, and maybe he'll play the games that we didn't get around to.
Yeah.
And then he'll pass them on. And I don't ever see us selling the collection, maybe paring down to some stuff we really
I want, like, in my collection, I want to have like the best of the best. Like, I don't want to have 200 games that are all worth like $5-10 a piece that you can get anywhere and nobody cares about.
Worth what? How do you like?
Well, there are some games that I just love that, like
there has to be a balance there.
Like Armed and Dangerous on the original Xbox. It's kind of a hidden gem. I think it's hilarious. I love the game.
It's
one that I'll keep, but it's not worth the damn thing. There's something I'll keep and I'll play over and over again.
Yeah, I think this is where I think emulation sort of and reproductions and that sort of thing comes into its own, is being able to play some of these games. Because otherwise it's just never going to happen. It's
that's just it.
Like
if you want to buy a game, it's a good way of like play it on an emulator and then see if you want it. And I think with things like PyPacker, they've got quite a few games that are now being released on like systems like the Evercade. And if there's an Evercade cartridge that's got some games that you don't know, not played it before, play it online for free on PyPacker. See if you like the game, and if you do, go and buy the cartridge. So it gives you that chance to try it before you buy it. So
yeah,
good way of doing it.
Well, we have an EverDrive for NES, and I would never look back. That's amazing. It plays exactly like it should. Like, it's on a cartridge, so you slip it in there. What's the game I played that there's no way we would ever own that?
Are you talking about Bubble Bath Babes?
No, not Bubble Bath Babes. The one I played, you can switch the characters.
What's it, Little Samson?
Yeah, I'm never gonna own Little Samson.
It's what, like?
It's like $2,000.
Yeah,
it's not happening. But I got to appreciate it, enjoy it on the NES EverDrive. Is it a $2,000 game? No, but you know, it's a great game. I would never buy it.
Yeah, I've got the N64 equivalent, like the N64 red cartridge, because I've got a few different emulator systems.
Yeah.
But I think N64 games, I feel like you need to play it with a proper N64 controller. You can't play it on like a Bluetooth. Yeah, that one, that's really good. If you play an N64 controller with like a PlayStation joypad map key, it's not the same. So like, if I want to play it on N64, red cartridge, whack it in, and you can have the proper experience without having to buy all the cartridges and stuff.
I'm in the same boat. I like to have all the original hardware. I like to play it on a CRT TV. You know, I got to have my Nintendo controller. I want to be able to play it on all the original hardware, but the EverDrive.
Yeah,
the full library.
Once you close that cover, and if it plays the same, like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out plays, like...
To me, that was the test. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, if I could put that in there and it plays identical, because you need to... You have fractions of a second.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Like and there's no lag. It plays identical. So
Yeah. I think this is why I think maybe some of the mini consoles have done really well as well. Maybe the NES Mini was popular, but I don't think the games on it were the big hitters for me that the NES was known for, probably mainly because of licensing. But things like the Super Nintendo Mini for me was such good value for money, because I don't have a cartridge of Earthbound, I don't have a cartridge of Mega Man X, so to be able to play both of those games on a licensed Nintendo system with a Nintendo controller was it was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And there's no way I'm dropping 300-400 quid on Earthbound. It's a great game, but like you said, is any game really worth that amount of money? Like,
yes, I get what you're saying.
It depends. It really depends. You kind of look at it. I kind of look at it like it could be an investment also. Yeah, because I did that with my comic books. When I was collecting comic books, was right when Marvel was starting to get hot. Like the first Iron Man dropped. And I went out and I started picking up stuff, all the first appearances, like any big key issue stuff.
Yeah.
And I bought like the first appearance of Venom, and we paid what?
Is that the one I got you for?
Yeah, it was like.
I think it was in and around the $200 mark.
And it's closer to $1,000 now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I got that for a birthday.
Yeah.
I definitely won't dwell on comics because I know the guys will kick my ass for bringing it in.
Yeah, we do have a rule: no comic books allowed.
You're going to give me 2 minutes. You're going to give me 2 minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes. You've got to talk about wrestling for ages.
We'll have our own separate show, Ollie, where we talk about comics.
That I'm in. But yeah, I can absolutely appreciate that in terms of linking it to investment ideas for video games, because there are certain comic books that I have bought because they are particularly what was that?
Overlay with an advert.
What it is we've invested in premium today to make it look pretty, and there's clearly a whole bunch of stuff that Ryan wants to
You can do it to Twitch too, eh?
I think so.
Facebook, yeah, you can, because we do all three. I don't know if we ever see anybody on Twitch, but we mentioned it one time, and they were like, "Oh, you have this on Twitch too?" So they logged in just to see if it actually worked. I'm like, I didn't lie; it's actually there.
Amazing. Certainly with comic book investment, that is definitely a thing. People that are really into the books know that they very rarely deplete in value. The ones where people go mental for like. I think the newer run of Captain Marvel #8 had the first appearance of Star. I'm not sure if it was #8, and that book went really hot for like a week, and now it's back down to like £5 because it's a nothing story. But yeah, I think one of the first things that I bought in terms of investment when I was about 19, got my first paycheck, was Amazing Spider-Man 300, the first Venom, which for me was like was like an £80 comic book over here. Which it's clearly more than that now, but I managed to get my copy signed by Stan Lee. I got it pressed and pressing, so it's been authenticated as being signed by Stan Lee.
That's awesome.
So the grading for that is now through the roof, but that's never disappearing out of my collection. That's inherent.
I don't blame you. Did you get to
That'll
meet
be at a yard sale there after you die.
did you get to meet him and talk to him?
Because I think I had all of 40 seconds because there was thousands of people, but it was a good 40 seconds.
Yeah. A friend of ours, Pac-Man Case, he was talking about it. He has his YouTube channel, but he also has a podcast on Spotify, and he was talking about that. And he didn't even get to meet him. He basically passed his book to someone who passed it to someone else who passed it to Stan Lee. He signed it, and it got passed back, and he wove to him, and that was it. And he's like, I paid like $200 to meet this man, and I passed the book. He said it's still one of the highlights of his life that he signed it, but he was so wishing that he could have said hi to him or something, but he got a wave. You'll wave.
There was,
I think there was crazy famous man, so everybody wants to meet him.
There was a UK company who had an exclusive deal with Stan Lee where they would take X number of books a month out to him, and he would dedicate an hour a day to signing books, which is where I got my one signed.
Okay.
But it was at a convention that he was at in the UK, so they were offering this service for £30, and your book was insured, so it was like, well, that's fine, I can do that. But then he was doing basically, it was the last time he was coming overseas, so that he was doing I'm going to do photo ops for everybody, and it was £30 a ticket, and he did say, look, I'm going to do my best to basically make sure that everybody gets to actually talk to me as well, because he didn't just want to be picture move, so everybody did get 40 seconds, a minute with Stan Lee, and it was just like meeting your granddad for the first time. He was the nicest man, and he just looked so old. It was really sad, but it was only a couple of years after that he passed. But oh man, that's happy comic book talk. See, it was worth it.
Well, I feel a bit depressed now.
Shocking.
Quite sad. But
he
was a legend.
In terms of investments, we can segue that right back into video games.
All right, well, Larry, we'll get back to the video games here. We did buy one game for an investment.
Yes, we did.
It is a sealed copy of Zelda 2.
Yeah, but it's Canadian variant, so that's why we bought it.
Yeah. So
that could very well be worth.
I've got Zelda 2 and I'm still.
Do you want to check eBay, Ollie? Check eBay.
Check eBay.
No, it had been suggested us to get it WADA graded. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, everybody was hot and horny there for the WADA there after the big sale of there was a couple of them there. There was a Super 64 stuff like that, and I was like, no, because I went through the comic book thing with collecting and grading and all that, and I knew a little bit about it. And I was like, this is too early. This kind of fishy.
The whole water thing's really suspicious to me. I was rather, I wouldn't.
Ridiculous.
It's spoiling the hobby for me. I think they're turning
it can absolutely. And if it's not going anywhere, why do I need it WADA graded?
Yeah,
I don't need it. I don't need that for me. It doesn't. I don't know. No. It doesn't change anything for me.
I don't like the way, because I have one comic that's graded, and
you bought
in
it
that case, I bought it that way, and it's really not worth that much. But I just I've seen it on eBay. It's cool, and I got it. And I absolutely hate the way it looks in the room there. It's an ugly fucking thing there, and I wouldn't want my games to be sitting on shelves with those stupid cases around them and a number above them.
Yeah.
So I get that, if you're a collector and you want to have nice pristine copies of games or that stuff, that's totally fine. I get why there's the appeal of it. But for me, games are meant to be played. I wouldn't buy a game without the intention of opening it and playing it. I never buy a game sealed with the idea of never opening it. It's just not something I want to do.
Sold! I don't know what that is Canadian.
That is ridiculous. That's probably
a lot of money.
That is an incredible amount of money Canadian. That would be insane.
I know, even more, actually, even more, isn't it?
Yeah, Canadian money, in terms of dollars, is it's even higher than American dollar.
Wow,
to the pound.
it's ridiculous.
I couldn't imagine selling it.
I'll check it.
Or if I had a copy of that sealed for $25,000, I'd be getting rid of that tomorrow.
Would you?
Yeah.
It would. Something devastating would have to happen in order to sell it. Other than that, I look forward to passing it on to Alex. I don't know. I really, and then if I die, I don't care.
Leaving a legacy to my son kind of thing, or a possible it's I can't leave you a savings account because I'm a hoarder and I hoard games and comics. But like, I can give you maybe a collection that's worth something, and if shit happens when you're an adult and you need to sell it, well, that's money. I don't care. I'm dead.
Yeah. I know some people are like, if I give my collection to my kid, I'll roll over in my grave if they sell it, and I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. We're dead.
That's it. You're gone.
39,999 quid is $68,084.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
So in your collection, as you talked a lot about your games and things, but you've got a lot of really cool artwork and other stuff in your games room. What's one of your favourite like objects you have in your games room aside from the consoles and games?
It has to be some of the art pieces. The art pieces at my you see right behind me here.
Let me put you on solo screen so we can have a look.
That Super Metroid. That's a painting.
Yeah, that's Super Metroid. It's one of my favorite games.
You're gonna you just have to tilt it. You won't be able to move it like that.
I can't. Yeah, I can.
Amazing.
That's quality.
It's fairly big. I want to say it's like 38 inches by 42 inches, if my memory is correct, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
There's about 100 hours or so of time putting into painting it.
It is absolutely beautiful, and that was painted by your wife, wasn't it?
Yep, all hand painted during the first lockdown of COVID. There, so that's what she did. She spent her time painting.
That's when my coffee addiction kicked in. I was drinking coffee and painting Super Metroid.
Wow.
See, that's good. You achieved something during the lockdown. I don't remember anything that I achieved during all that. I just wasted it, I think.
I achieved platinuming Final Fantasy VII Remake on PS4. That was an achievement for me, especially playing that game on hard mode was possibly one of the hardest gaming experiences I've played.
Wow. Oh, I played a lot of games during lockdown as well, but I put a lot of time in painting, and it got me a little bit ahead because it was driving me crazy that wasn't done yet. And then every other painting's finished except for one.
Yep.
Yeah.
One Punch Man.
One Punch Man.
I don't know if you got any anime fans here, but yeah, I got one painting left there, and it's One Punch Man.
One Punch Man.
Cool.
Yeah. And then some will probably rotate out, but
maybe.
I think that's probably. I mean, it's personal to me. I love the paintings because they're like a piece of me that I put into the game room. So I really.
I also really like how you display your cases because I watched your game room tour. And you're saying you like to swap the cases out. So you've got like a interchangeable art wall. And you've got the game. I love that idea. That's really cool. I've got to do a games room. I keep getting in trouble for calling it a games room. My wife keeps saying it's not a games room, it's an office. When I get my office done, it's going to double up as a games room eventually, trying to build something. I really want to do something like that and have. I don't think I could put all. It's not going to be that big. I don't think I could do all of my collection like that. But I think having like a shelf where I have like stuff on display, like you guys have got there. And I can swap things out and interchange. I think that'd be really cool. So yeah, look, watching your games room tour, I was like, definitely want to take some inspiration from your games room because it's really well designed.
Thank you.
It's got some really cool artwork and stuff. So yeah, I definitely want to try and replicate that as close as I can in a much smaller space.
Well, we just kind of fly by the seat of our pants, and we're like, we'll kind of do what we think.
Yeah, I'll have a space, and I'm like trying to figure out what to do with that space. Sometimes it'll come to us, and then sometimes it'll take like a year.
We fought about this door.
That's a door behind us.
That door right there. We fought about that door because we wanted it to blend into the wall.
Oh, what's in there?
It's our storage room.
Hang on, let me.
That's cool.
Let's go solo.
That is cool.
Yeah. So we fought about it because we didn't know what to do with it.
That's so cool.
We built the Nintendo controller into the wall so that the buttons are on the door, but the controller itself is like that's a cutout part.
It's all raised.
Yeah, it's all raised.
Amazing.
Yeah, we thought about how to blend that in
That's so cool.
I swear months.
It was a while.
It was a while.
And whose idea was it?
It was Scott's idea. It was.
I really like how you do your controllers as well. I've actually looked online. I'm going to order some of the things which I can attach to the wall because you've just got like that thing down the wall. We've got like all the. So I thought actually I've got loads of controllers, and I was like, why stick them all in the drawer? I want to stick them up on the wall. And have,
we hide ours behind our paintings too.
Yeah.
We have all our wired controllers hidden behind box art so that it's on an accordion hinge or a piano hinge. So they're all hidden behind there on pegboard, and then we just kind of go from there. That's great for your wired controllers.
I am.
Yeah, nice.
I was just sorry. I've just remembered my gaming achievement during lockdown. I got to the final 3 on Fall Guys Knockout on PlayStation 4. So that was my achievement. I never won, but I got to the final. There's 3 of us left. But yeah, there we go.
It's not quite a Super Metroid painting, but yeah, that's an achievement.
Yeah, well,
Mine was, I learned how to make balloon animals. So there you go. That was my lockdown skill that I had to learn.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
You're gonna have to make us some looning animals now, dude.
Yeah.
have you got any balloons there, Tim? Could you do one quickly now?
I could do one now. If
Please
you
do.
really want to.
Please
Really
do.
want
Well,
to.
then that's
Me and Mr. I'm going to
Yourself
do it in the
make an
background.
animal.
I don't care.
I'll make like a dog or something.
Yes,
do
please.
a skunk. Do a skunk.
Can you use a condom?
I was thinking it, but I didn't say it.
The other thing in your games room. Oh man! The other thing in your games room that I absolutely love is you have a beer tap.
Yes, I've got 5 beer taps.
It's so cool. It's so cool.
An incredible thing. I can't. Is it the? If you've got different controllers on tops of some of the taps or all of the taps?
Yeah, I actually took my original Xbox, my first Xbox I ever had. Once it died because of the clock capacitor, it wrecked it. So I had to do something with the shell. So I made a tower for my beer taps, and then I used a couple of broken Duke controllers for my handles.
Yeah, fantastic. That was oh wow, he's really going for this.
Brilliant.
He has the apparatus to blow the balloons up too. So
what colour did you want for these balloons?
Can we have multicolours?
Well, I can only do like one balloon thing. I'm not going to make like multiple.
Really big.
Go for a red dog. Make it like.
Can you just do a Mariel? Just do Mariel.
Do it.
No pressure.
This is like something I learned like in a very short amount of time. I can't.
Oh no, Tim, you do something and we guess what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen talking, like don't just focus on me. Like Karen talking, I'll just be doing it in the background.
Hang on, what
we want to hear all the squeaks.
What we can do, we'll stick you there, Tim, and then we'll carry on. Oh, geez. You're on mute.
That's just they don't put me full screen. The pressure's on.
Oh no, you're not. We're carry on.
That balloon.
Squeak.
Oh, if it pops.
This
is your basic.
I know what it is.
Rabbit.
I'll tell you what.
Chicken.
What we genuinely need, in the sort of late 70s, early 80s over in the UK, there was a guy called Tony Hart who used to do a show. Was it called Heartbeat?
Heartbeat, yeah.
Yes.
What we need now is we need the music from Heartbeat.
I did the back legs wrong because it's
look at that! Amazing! Awesome.
Detail. There you go. But the dimensions are a bit off, but there you go.
That's good.
I'll let you go. That's a skill.
That was excellent.
That's cool.
Well done, Tim.
There you go. Well, I've got lots of like, my kids are quite young, and I've got young nieces and nephews. So if we meet up with the family, I was like, "Who wants a balloon?"
I want to learn to do that, and then ask Alex if he wants a balloon animal, and just have him look at me.
He's
like
going
I'm
again.
14.
He's going again.
I'm make another one.
Amazing. The sort of
My
things
wife
you
got
learn
so
about.
annoyed with me to one point. I was practicing. And she come out, there'd be like a pile of balloon animals in the lounge, and she was like, "Can we pop some of these now?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just practicing. That's amazing." Pile of balloon animals.
Oh, love it. I love it.
My wife is just questioning what I'm watching.
Okay, one other thing, right? I did this at work. So we did a funny thing around like teams at work, saying like, "Oh, did anyone like learn any new skills during lockdown?" And did funny videos and stuff. And I did a little demonstration of how to make a balloon dog. I made the mistake of using a pink balloon, and my manager basically found the best screenshots of me making this balloon where the balloon looked the most phallic, and had these screenshots of me holding this like big pink balloon with like the twisted bits at the bottom. I was like, yeah, I walked into that one. That was a bad idea. Yeah. So I picked me, stared round with this weird balloon shape. Yeah.
That sounds like a fun place to work. I'm just
You'll realise that our streams really go off on tangents.
I think it's the weirdest tangent we've ever had.
We do the same thing on ours. We have a Get to Know Gamer stream, and like the whole theme of it is we ask the guests to bring 10 of their most influential games, or what made them a gamer, they're over their lifetime or whatever. And it just goes off. Like, we'll start talking about anything and everything. I still remember when we started talking about rotary phones.
Rotary phones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, awesome.
There you go, Sausage Dog.
So you can ask us 2 of our favourite games. I'll ask each of us 2 of our favourite games that meant the most to us.
Oh.
Right now, we're going to get to know games.
That's a lot of pressure.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Dorbs, you go first.
No, we'll do it in order. I've got to think of some.
So we got
Okay. Grand Theft Auto 3, and SmackDown 2 on PlayStation 1.
Attaboy.
Nice.
That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's going to get the game in for you.
Mine has to be Super Metroid on the SNES.
SNES. Yeah.
And then the first ever 3D Mario.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I just blew my mind when you first could just play like 3D Mario. It's just unbelievable. That analog stick. I know the controller's horrendous, but I just remember when you first saw it for the first time. I was just like,
have you tried that game on the Switch yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All 200. Yeah.
How do you like it?
It plays.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
The camera's a bit of a
But the nostalgia at the time, I remember. At the time, you remember like through your rose tinted glasses, and I've gone back to it since, and you do feel a bit like, what was I thinking? But at the time.
Well, that's where I'm at with it, because I tried to play it on the Switch, and I was like, oh my God, this is, I don't understand. And I haven't gone back to it. I think I'm probably 3/4 of the way through the game, and I'm like, please go back and play it. But every time I think about it, I'm like,
What about once the N64 controller comes out for the Switch?
Do we?
Maybe.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I've got it pre-ordered.
Yeah. I know we pre-ordered something.
No, we pre-ordered a wireless controller for the
PS1. PS1, PS2?
Yeah,
they'll work on both. Yeah.
Nice.
But there's actually an N64 one, isn't it? It's coming as wireless. So.
Nice.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be very cool. Anybody else?
Can I just change mine to Grand Theft Auto Vice City, not Grand Theft Auto 3? I prefer Vice City. Sorry.
When we do the Get to Know Gamer, a lot of Grand Theft Auto.
A lot of Grand Theft Auto.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So good.
For me, my number 1 favorite game is Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
It was the Dorbs hates it. It was the first time I'd played a game that was like in excess of 20, 30, 40 hours. And the story just blew my mind, like really blew my head off. So that Mario 64 is probably my second favorite game, very closely followed by Silent Hill 2.
Yeah. Now you're speaking my language.
Yeah.
I'm going to make Dorbs roll his eyes again, but my top is also Final Fantasy VII. Sorry, I won't go into why, because I think I've talked about that game quite a lot already on this channel, and it's becoming a point of contention. I think second
it's going to become like comics.
Every time I get in trouble if I bring it up too much. But I think the other games will probably be interchangeable, but one for me was always Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles when you connected them together on the Mega Drive. I think that was a great experience for me. I used to play that absolutely loads. Loved like going through and getting all like the Chaos Emeralds with each character and that sort of thing. That was a really good one for me. But I think there's a lot that I can't I would say I don't think I've got like a second favorite. There's probably like a tier of multiple games that are like tied for second and third. But Final Fantasy VII for me is definitely the top. But after that, it's interchangeable, I think.
I'm going to be intrigued to see where Dorbs goes, because he normally picks a whole bunch.
Premier Manager 2.
Very weird.
The cheat code, no. So difficult. There's so many classics out there. Grand Theft Auto.
It's hard. Yeah, it's difficult to name a top 10, let alone your top 2.
Yeah.
It is obviously the sensible soccers love those, but I'm going to go a bit more modern. So Uncharted 2.
Oh, so good.
Love that game.
Hard to disagree
Absolutely
with.
love that game. It's my it's probably my favorite modern-ish game.
You like it better than 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like 4, but I fell in love with Uncharted when I played number 2. So I can understand that.
It's just and the memories as well. Just memories of playing with your mates online. There's so many funny memories. Like, I don't mean to sound rude or anything, but I remember I was playing.
You can't. Like, I hang around with all guys all the time.
Yeah. Okay, right. I was playing with my mate.
Yep.
And we're in the lobby, just about to play a game, and he's got his screen name. I won't say what it is, but let's just say it's, I don't know, John. And then you see the opponents, and then silence, and then you just hear this bloke go, "Hey, John, fuck you, motherfucker." And this is like absolutely crazy stuff. It was so funny. But yeah, Uncharted 2, I loved it. And Heavy Rain. I
haven't played it yet, and it's on my backlog, and it's high on my backlog.
Yeah,
I know.
So move it higher up that backlog.
I know. I know.
It's
because I played, what is it called? Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I have to have all of them now.
Yeah.
So I
Indigo Prophecies in there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And
there's another one. I thought there was 4 of them.
Yeah, there is 4.
Anybody know?
Heavy Rain, Indigo Prophecy.
Was it the what's it?
The
one with is it Ellen Page?
It's on the Xbox.
Yes. Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did they
I want to play through all of them.
Who did Fahrenheit? Was that them as well, or is that
Fahrenheit was great? That was
that's
really
Indigo Prophecy.
That's our Indigo Prophecy.
Okay. Yeah. There we go.
It's been remastered, hasn't it, on PS4? Or
yes.
have I
Yes, it
that?
has been.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's on PS4.
Yeah.
But yeah, get playing Heavy Rain. It's a bit dated now. It's sort of a little bit cheesy, but it's so good.
I still want to play it. I can appreciate it. Since I've started playing games, I kind of have like a very open mind about games. I try to most games I want to play all the way through, because I have even found myself not enjoying fully a game within the first 5 hours, and then I get to like hour 15 and I'm like, this is the best game ever. And so you really have to follow it through, which is what I like when I see reviews sometimes online and somebody trashes a game hard. I'm like, did you play it all the way though? Like, just play the whole entire game, because it wasn't a bad game.
We had talked about that on our last live stream there with Easygoing Gaming, and he was saying that most people get the review codes like 2 days before the game comes out, so it's hard to play that much
like a snapshot
of a game. Get a video done, edit it, and put it out day of release of the game. Like you're not finishing those games. Like,
no.
No,
Have you
really
started playing Final Fantasy 7 yet? Because I saw you picked up what is on the Switch. You picked up Final Fantasy 7.
Yes.
Have you started playing either of those yet?
We
only just got into your turn-based RPGs.
I just got into it. It's up there. We have plans for next year. Right now I'm playing Tales of Arise.
Yeah.
So that's gonna probably, because I get busy at work here come November, that I think it'll be close to the end of the year before I finish that.
Yeah.
Next year I plan on playing Final Fantasy 7, the original one, and then playing the remake. I'm playing them back to back.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna actually do a video on it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm just
gonna, the remake is different.
Whoa, that's a good question, Liam.
I know. At first, I was pissed.
Good.
He's too young.
Well,
that's what
but
I
at
thought
least he
at
can
first
grow
too.
with the character, can't he?
If he's
Well, are we putting
Nathan
him in
Fillion
stilts?
should have been. when they announced
Fillion, like if they would have done that 10 years ago, absolutely. And I still think he would have been good in the role. Tom Holland, the problem is, I think he's going to be a man-child forever. Like, he's just going to always look young, right? I don't know how well he'll grow throughout the series. I know they're starting when Nathan Drake is younger, so I get that now, but I don't know how we get to Nathan Drake, like, 10 years after that. You know what I mean? I don't know how Tom Holland is that role. That's what I'm worried about. So, I don't know.
Yeah, just see how it goes.
Let's just make sure the first movie doesn't flop before we start talking about a third one.
Yeah,
yeah.
Computer game movies have got a really weird track record, haven't they? There's a real there's a lot of bad games based on movies and things like that. And occasionally, you feel like they really made an effort to try, and it still just wasn't quite that good. But there's a couple of good ones out there. I think Silent Hill film was pretty decent.
Yeah,
first
Resident Evil.
Yeah,
yeah.
Once you've played through Final Fantasy VII, you've got to play through the game first. Watch Advent Children, but it's a direct sequel. It's a direct sequel to the game. So don't watch that until you've played the game, but then watch the movie Advent Children. And it's great, but it's not it's really good. But the thing is, it expects you to play the game, so it doesn't explain what materia is or what any of the stuff in the world is like, because it expects you're already familiar with that world. You play the game, boom, it goes off with the story, and it's a brilliant, really good film. But you have to have played the game to appreciate it.
The animation is spectacular as well.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about, sorry,
no, you carry on.
Well, since we're talking about movies and games. Has anybody seen the new trailer for Resident Evil movie?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I have very mixed feelings. It looks like it had a budget of about 50p.
Not impressed right now.
But it looks and feels more like the game.
It does.
So I kind of feel like they've tried to shoehorn Resident Evil 1 and 2, kind of slam them together and push out whatever this is going to be. It might be that the mansion is just this afterthought, and it mainly takes place in the police department. I'm not totally against people changing the material to kind of make it fit for a movie. So, hopefully it will just look dreadful, but it will actually be good fun. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it looking not particularly great, but it being a good fun movie like that. That I'm fine with. So hopefully it will be good, because it looks like it's got the right feel. It just looks like a TV movie.
Yeah,
it does. It does.
And maybe it would have been better suited as that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
because your expectations would be lowered a little bit. You know what I mean? And then maybe it would do really well. But
now I got one more movie I want to ask you guys about. I don't know if you've seen it. I just watched the newest Mortal Kombat movie maybe a month ago. You guys all see it?
Yes.
I've not seen the new one yet.
No.
I've only seen the old ones they did back in the 90s.
Okay, so no spoilers for Tim. But
I'll only say I don't know. I like there's probably half of the fight scenes are excellent, and then the other half are who the fuck directed that? And then and when my buddy asked me, was it good? I said it was different. What do you mean different? I said, well, it didn't feel like a tournament, like a Mortal Kombat tournament.
It's like they allude to the fact that the tournament exists. So it's going to happen in the next one, I think. I didn't like the Cole character. I feel like you've got so many characters in Mortal Kombat. Why are you making characters up for the movie? It's pointless. It needed way more Scorpion for me.
Did you see the animated Scorpion movie?
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
That's violent. That is violent as anything. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like this new Mortal Kombat movie. It kills off a couple of characters in it that I'm like,
oh, come on.
Did I tell you who?
Well, I'm expecting it now, aren't I?
I'd imagine in a film that is based on a video game where you literally murder the opponents, I'd expect you just to notice a guy. But yeah, it needed more Scorpion. The intro was fucking outstanding.
Is it as good as the intro of Street Fighter the movie though? Because that's an epic intro to that film.
That movie is so bad, it's amazing.
I love it. Seen Street Fighter the movie in probably 20 years.
It's not,
and I can't imagine it aged well.
It's aged brilliantly, like a fine wine. It's superb film.
I do love
Jean-Claude Van Damme, tick. Kylie Minogue, tick. What do you need? Got it all.
I also love Street Fighter the movie, the game. Just the fact that it exists, and the title of it. I've not really played a huge amount. I played a little bit of it. So it's like, but you've got a movie based on the game, and you have a game based on the movie based on the game. Street Fighter the movie, the game. It was like
I got that when I got my PlayStation 1 Christmas '96. I got like FIFA '97, Tomb Raider, and my dad thought, "Oh, Ryan loves Street Fighter. Street Fighter the movie. It was like the worst Street Fighter game ever." But I had to be like, "Oh, this is brilliant. I'm so happy with."
Thank you so much.
You have to, because then you'll never get another game again if you don't.
No, and I reckon someone in the shop where he got it from was like, "Yeah, this game's really good," and like pushed it on him for like 40 quid because he wouldn't have had a clue.
He's probably on the bonus.
Get rid of the Street Fighter the movie.
So the thing that sucks the most about that movie, the fact that it's so bad, it's amazing. I own it on Blu-ray because it's that bad. It's so entertaining.
Yeah.
But the thing that genuinely sucks with that movie is that was Raul Julia's last movie before he died, and you're just thinking,
"Oh yeah, I forgot about that."
Christ on a bike, like you played M. Bison terribly, and that's your send off. Like, wow, it feels so bad. It's like when Bob Kane, the guy that created Batman, died, and the last Batman film he saw was Batman and Robin. Like, oh god, all these people that have these terrible experiences are the last things that's like their holy grails before they pass. Like,
I'm depressed again now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm at
we got your quiz coming up in a second, so that
good.
I'll lighten everybody up. Before we move on to Dorbs' quiz, because normally we do something called "What's in the Box" with Dorbs, but I think he's switching it up a little bit.
Well, you can play the intro.
Because all right, we'll still do that. Right. So one of our
can I do one of those big things again? Sorry.
We were talking about comic books.
What else is there? What other flashy animations comes with the premium, dude?
Yeah.
No, nothing. This is the only one I managed to download today. There's nothing. That's it.
Oh,
how many is there you can download? Is there quite
as many as you want, but this was the best one I found.
For months, and the most I've done is
I don't know if we even have a
nothing. I'm like, if I screw with this, I'll end up logging us off or something.
I've just had a thought. Where is your Optimus Prime?
Oh,
where is that?
Right over there.
Off to my right here.
It's so that was on your tour video.
Yeah, she's gonna try to sneak it in here.
Oh wait, I'll just do this.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go solo.
Wow,
that is so
cool.
I built that for my son for his 5th birthday. As you can see, the original G1 toy is on top of the shoulder.
Yeah.
I took one apart and then scaled it up and came close to what it is. That actually transforms. So
that is amazing.
That's so good. I love it.
So good.
I have these aspirations of like wanting to build a Megatron, but I don't know where I'd put it.
So you've like built that for your son. Like if I tried to build anything like that for my son, it would not look like that. And it certainly wouldn't. It would not transform either. It would. Wow, that's incredible, dude. That is really cool.
That's cool. Tim, do you think you can make a balloon?
Optimus
Prime balloon.
Optimus Prime. Yeah, you got a red balloon.
Of the one thing basically is all I can make a sword. Which is literally twist it
I
down.
can make a sword.
Make a snake.
Make a snake. I can make a snake, a snort, and a sword. I can't make an Optimus Prime.
I kind of feel like you need to try and figure out if you can make a balloon Optimus Prime now.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do. It might take me a lot of trial and error.
Tim can make snooker cues, wands, swords,
sticks,
amazing,
rulers,
kendo sticks.
So, one of our last topics before we move on to Dorbs's quiz for you is you've got quite a lot of games in the collection, quite a lot of systems that you collect for. Is there a particular system that you enjoy collecting for the most? Is there one that no matter sort of where you're at, you're always looking for games for a very particular system?
I've got I've got 2 answers basically, but I'm going to push it into one answer here. My biggest collection is the original Xbox collection. The reason why I started collecting that is because a lot of those games are also ported to the PS2, but they're way more expensive. So I want to be able to play all those games, especially the high-end ones, and not spend those PS2 prices. Now now, since I started playing RPGs, now I'm really starting to look at PS1 stuff because there's a lot of good RPGs on there, and they're damn expensive. That's the problem.
They really are.
Yeah. Basically, anything SquareSoft, or what was SquareSoft back then, anything they touched is just silly. It can be silly money.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. And I just basically go right to wherever the PS4 games are and look for indie titles because I love something that nobody talks about or something that's just different. I want it. Yeah,
the PS4 I think is just littered with literal hidden gems. That system has got so much good stuff on it.
The library is huge.
It is.
Yeah, it is. And I still feel like PlayStation sort of dropped the ball with not letting it play PS3 games because I still wasn't done with the PS3.
Too.
Yep.
But that being said, once you sort of forget the PS3 as a system and kind of just move into PS4 and just jump into the library that they have, it's so big, but there's unreal titles on that system. So when you said earlier PS4 is one of the best systems, like I can agree with that.
I enjoy collecting for DS too, though. I'm finding an appreciation in the DS games. Like 3DS I like too, but I'm really loving the DS games for some reason.
You got into the Castlevania.
I got into the Castlevania, so
she likes the expensive stuff.
The DS was great, but it was companies' obsession with using the stylus on games where it just didn't need to be used. Like FIFA, you had to use the stylus and things, and wrestling games you had to use the stylus, and when companies figured you didn't have to use the stylus, I think the DS was, really come into its own after that.
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel about the Vita sometimes with that back screen. I'm like, why? I played Uncharted. Is it Golden Abyss? And I'm like, I don't want to slash a tree. I don't want to do that. I'm with you. Like, move on.
Yeah. And the vine, as fun as that game was, I know that they used the front and the back touchscreen for quite a lot of things. But the thing that annoyed me with Uncharted Golden Abyss was having to do all the fucking brass rubbings of just putting something down.
Oh yes, I've seen.
I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
was it
I played that game through 3 times.
It's like a lotto scratcher. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like,
I feel like Tearaway. Do you play Tearaway?
Yes.
You what?
That one really used all the back buttons and the touch screen. Tearaway.
Okay.
Tearaway.
Yeah, it was the same really people that did Little Big Planet, wasn't it? And
you could draw something out, and then I think there was like this little squirrel, and he goes, "Make me a hat." So I just drew him a penis. So he's there looking at you, look at my hat, and it's like.
I quite enjoyed the 2 games I enjoyed the most of the DS were Trauma Center Under the Knife. Because obviously you're doing like the surgery with the pen.
That's the perfect game for the stylus, isn't it?
That's a good game for a stylus. That's quite fun because you're cutting people open, you're stitching people up with a pen. That's quite cool. And then you've got The World Ends With You.
We have that one.
Unique. That's good. I really liked that game. That was really fun. She's doing like the battle with the touch screen at the same time, using the buttons to do the top screen. Is with the buttons, you're fighting in 2 different ways at once. You have to sync them up. It's quite a weird game to get the hang of. Once you figure out how to play it well, it's really fun. Yeah, it's a fun game.
We got that in a bundle, and that was one of the games that I was like, I think we need to keep this game. I think there's something here. So we ended up keeping it in the we ended up
have you played it yet?
I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I'll definitely put it on your games to play list. Like, I would recommend that one. It's good. It's one of my favorite DS games, that one.
Nice.
Really good fun. Yeah, good storyline as well. It's really, really good story. And it's quite fun to get into.
Yeah.
I liked all the Mario and Luigi series they did, where it was just like the 2D cartoon stuff. The Mario and Luigi Bowser Inside Story for me was probably one of my.
Is it?
Yes. Yeah, I love those games because they're just inherently. I know Mario's quite child friendly anyway, but it was just inherently kiddie, and it really did remind me of like It looked for me very much like modern Mario All Stars.
Nice.
That Mario and Bowser, Mario Luigi Bowser Inside Story, where they actually sort of do like inner space where you go into Bowser and you have to find your way out.
Cool.
That was cool.
See, I like games like that because I play so much survival horror most of the time that I need a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
And I need something to just like take me from here to here. because I'll spend my time gaming up here with just like intense games.
Everything's got you on edge and screaming down here.
So I had a lot of fun with what was it? A Yoshi game on the Switch. I can't remember. It was like Epic Yarn.
I think it might be Epic Yarn. Yeah, or something. Yeah. Something to do with
it was nothing like it was nothing spectacular. Crafted World. Yoshi's Crafted World.
Crafted World, yeah. My daughter loves that.
Yeah, it was nothing spectacular, but it was good fun, and it was light and easy, and like it was fun to play. Yeah. It was nice.
When you go around the back and you see like the back, it's all like folded the other way, and that when you go in reverse worlds and that's quite cool, isn't it?
Well, I just liked pointing out everything. I'm like, that's actually a straw. Like the way they did it was really cool.
That's awesome that you really like survival horror, though. It's very rare that you find people that are really into survival horror games to the point where they enjoy the stress, they enjoy the horror. It's
it's like some more than I do. I mean, I like them, but I get a certain amount. I like Halloween. We tend to binge play survival horror stuff there for Halloween. Then I'll touch it here and there through the year, but she 10 months of the year. That's all she plays.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm just a strange breed because I don't know a lot of other girls like me that just love to play survival horror all the time, but I could live in that world and just stay there. Yeah, but I know I have to play other games.
I sleep with one eye open.
Yeah, I can fully embrace that, and I'm so looking forward to some of the survival horror stuff that's hopefully going to start making its way to PS5 now, because I think this is where things like ray tracing and HDR it's made for this genre. Have
you played Tormented Souls?
No.
It's so good.
No. That is on a list.
It's good. If you like nostalgia, like old school survival horror,
it's a new game kind of built like mechanics are almost like an old.
You can play tank controls with it. Cool. Yeah, fixed camera angles, but it's just really like a great throwback to survival horror. Like, I loved it. Conserve your ammo. You don't get a lot, but it was phenomenal. It was really really good.
I'm really looking forward to checking out the Medium because that's now making its way to PS5.
I hear good things on that.
I think Xbox or Microsoft have sort of shot themselves in the foot there, because that and Halo would probably have made me buy a Series X sooner than I will, because I don't have one yet. But then they were like, "Oh, the Medium's coming to PS5." Like, cool, I can wait then. But yeah, I hear very good things about that. There's a rumor that the studio, are they a Polish studio? I think they're a European studio that made that game. But there's a rumor that they are developing the new Silent Hill game.
Ooh. Oh, cool.
Apparently, Konami, now that lockdown and COVID has happened, and they've not been able to make any money off of those pachinko machines that they gave up video games for, they're like, shit, we need revenue. Silent Hill, let's make some Silent Hill games.
Let's make a new Silent Hill. Yeah.
So there's a rumor they're not making it; they're just going to publish it. But apparently, the studio that made the Medium are apparently working on a Silent Hill title, which I'm
that's going to be good.
Very excited about.
I am too.
Yeah. That would be really cool. I had a really good blast with Resident Evil 8. I thought that was really good fun.
Yeah.
Not played that yet.
And I know they just have out on the Oculus Resident Evil 4
VR.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh,
that looks cool.
I want to play it.
It looks good.
Yeah.
I think they must be using, because they're doing a remake of Resi 4, I think, aren't they, now to follow the series. And I think they're just going to take the world from Resident Evil 8. It's basically Resident Evil 4. It looks like it. And they can just almost drop it, I think.
Yeah. Well, he hadn't played Resident Evil 4, and when he played Resident Evil 8, I was like, you really would have appreciated it more had you played 4.
Yeah, it looks very much like 4.
Yeah. And I just liked the references to the, that he made to the merchant, it was so cool. I loved that part. Like, he played it, I watched it. I have yet to play Resident Evil 8 because usually we like to experience it together first, and then I'll play it afterwards. But that's kind of how we started out playing it.
Yeah.
Did that originally come out on the GameCube?
Resident Evil 4?
4 did, but it didn't port it to.
You see that controller, like a chainsaw.
Yes.
Yeah.
I nearly bought that special edition at a time, but I didn't.
But supposedly
I think
is that GameCube?
Matt has one too. Chill Scissors.
Okay.
Chill Sisters, I think, has one.
I think supposedly the best port of Resident Evil 4 is meant to be on the Wii.
Yes,
No
that's
idea
what I
why.
hear too.
Because I haven't played Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 4. Those are the only ones. And everybody keeps telling me to play 4 on the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have yet to do it, but everybody says it's apparently it's the port
The
for the
definitive version, yeah.
which should be cool.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the chainsaw gun, yeah. Chainsaw controller.
That is badass. That looks
It is
absolutely.
badass.
That looks really
That's
awful
so
to hold,
cool.
but
Yeah,
that's
it does.
awesome, isn't it?
Like, how would you play that legitimately
I don't know,
with no
yeah.
Like
trying to
saw
swing that
under the
controller?
arm and like.
Yeah. But I know I'd be playing it. I'd be like, at the
you would do
screen.
that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd want to. I'd have to.
Nice. Right, Mr. Dorbs, do you want to hand
Just
us over
before
to,
that, Tim, I found a Transformer balloon
Ooh.
creation.
Is there a tutorial on how to make? Oh yeah.
There we go. I don't know what I've done here. I've lost
Screen.
everyone
There we
behind
go.
it. But,
Screen.
It looks like you.
That
There we
looks
go.
easy, doesn't it? You
Tim,
know,
you need
I could
to-
probably whack that over the weekend, couldn't I?
yeah,
Yeah, easy.
What?
What was it?
he looks very chuffed
Yeah.
with himself, that
Yeah.
bloke as well.
That's got to be like 12 foot.
Don't see any reason why I can't do that. I'll just whack it out over the weekend. Be fine.
Well,
Yeah.
Well,
we expect your
maybe-
progress.
Yeah.
I think, Tim, you should do like
Easily
weekly
done.
updates. Weekly updates as
How
well.
far I've got with my
Yeah.
balloon
I built like a
sculpture.
leg, you know.
Yeah, definitely doing
Amazing.
that. Watch this space.
Are you drinking out of the Holy Grail from
Yeah,
Indiana
this is one
Jones?
of the wine goblets. My wife goes each. We call them shit wine glasses. It's like a joke.
They're
thing.
very posh.
Like we all
that's
have
what-
like different ones. And they're really cheap. They're cheap, thick ones because like we keep our nice ones to one side. These are like our crap ones
For
that we
Christmas and stuff.
have. Yeah.
No, they look very nice. Very nice.
Did I
you
break?
got
thanks.
Did I break our nice ones?
Yes.
We did a video and I got a little bit tipsy in the video. We did of like, I don't know what it was, like most expensive
You did say yes.
games and most expensive consoles.
Yeah.
And he got us wine. I was like, have a glass and I'm going to be wasted. This is ridiculous. Get me a rattler. So we had both. I had wine glass and a rattler. And when I washed them at the end, I just kind of threw one in the sink and I was like,
Whoops.
oh shit, that's broke down.
Uh,
So yeah, we should have the same glasses. I should have some dollar store, Walmart wine glasses. That's what I need.
Solo
Gotta
cups.
be.
Solo cups.
Walmart, wow. Asda. It's called Asda over here.
Oh yeah.
I think it's the same company. Was it in
Yeah,
the
same
90s?
yeah, it's Walmart Group.
Walmart bought
Yeah.
Asda.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We'd hoped that
Yeah.
it might give us like a bit more access to like physical media because like physical media in the UK is just dying on its ass.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
Is
But you
it?
still get, but in America you still get like Best Buy and you still get
Yeah.
Walmart like stock a lot of stuff, whereas in the UK it's just
Yeah.
kind of special
what's
store.
You know what's coming back to Southampton, Ollie?
Tell me
You're-
HMV.
Yep, in the Argos,
Beautiful.
where Argos used to be.
Beautiful.
Oh, cool.
HMV is like the
We
it's a
have
good shop.
HMV, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They pretty much removed all of them from the high street over in the UK at one point because our high street
Oh.
is just almost non-existent now. Like
Yeah,
bricks
coffee
and mortar
shops
stores
and charity shops, yeah.
just don't
Yeah.
exist
I think
anymore.
things
really
like
over
places
here.
like HMV and stuff would often like you'd be able to find stuff in there quite easily because they have really good range, but it'd be quite expensive.
Yeah,
I think a lot of the
very
time you go in there, see what you wanted, and then you go and find it cheaper online.
I think you're probably
You
right.
know?
Check Amazon. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
Amazon.
could even do it in the shop, couldn't you? You could see things like, oh, that looks pretty good. Get your phone out, be like, oh, I can order it cheaper online, next day delivery. You know,
Yeah.
so you just save yourself a £5 or something and get it delivered to your
Exactly.
house.
The HMV.
Mike
in
Ashley
Portsmouth
won't
is,
like you, Tim.
The HMV in Portsmouth has got some
it's
really
awful.
good stock in it.
I
You
just
think?
don't like it. Yeah, it's just like a
Oh,
jumble
it's-
sale.
It's small, but the thing I like, I still buy a lot of like physical media, like movies and games. But yeah, 4K movies in there, 2 for 30 quid. I'm more than happy with that.
Oh, yeah.
I think they've
That's
crammed
what-
too much in there. It's just too. It's too
I'm fine
crammed
with that.
in them.
There's
Yeah, I
lots of
really
good
like
stuff.
going into like Forbidden Planet. Like Forbidden Planet will have some really cool stuff in there, but it's not cheap. Like the stuff in there is you're always paying full price for anything you find in there, and
You
it's
know-
a good
Yeah.
place. Yeah, it's
Is that still in Southampton or is it gone now?
yeah, it's in
Yeah.
Southampton. It looks
The
quite
thing
small when you walk past it, but you go downstairs and it opens up downstairs. Like the bottom floor is like really big.
Yeah.
The
Okay,
thing
I've
that's
been in
such
there
a
for
like
bit
the
long
board
time.
games and stuff.
The thing that sucked in there in Forbidden Planet the most was they were doing the range of McFarlane Cyberpunk toys. I really enjoyed Cyberpunk, so when they announced they were going to be doing toy lines, like, cool, I need Cyberpunk toys. Saw the price of them initially. It's like, nah, they're going to come down in price because no one liked the game, so the toys are inevitably going to tank. And then we've got like a bargain toy store in our country called B&M. And B&M put on their website, we're getting the Cyberpunk toys. They're going to be £10 each. You're like, I'm going to have some of that. Bought both of the Johnny Silverhand and the V toy for a tenner each. And in Forbidden Planet, they're £32 each. And you're like, how can you justify that? Like, B&M are selling them for a tenner each.
So B&M, I want the Back to the Future cereals and the Jules cereals. I need to pick up those.
Yeah, you got to do it. They get all the weird shit, man. It's like really bizarre, but it's really
strange.
good.
That's awesome.
Right. Mr. Dawes.
Right, so I play it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go
Shoot.
for it.
What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box?
Like the last part.
Right, don't get too excited. I only
So-
thought of this about 6:30 tonight, so don't get too excited. But first off,
Great
I've
way
been
to
doing some-
undersell it.
yeah,
Yeah. Standard
underselling
flow.
it. But first off, I've been looking at your hometown.
Yeah.
So I think, Scott, you look very stylish. Do you shop in Coal Pits? Is it called Coal Pits?
He doesn't even know what Coal Pits is.
Do you know what it is?
I do know what it is.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, it's described as a world-class men's boutique in the heart of downtown, featuring Hugo Boss, Paul and Shark, Lacoste, Stenstroms, Van Gils, Sand, Circle of Gentlemen, and Stelstrom. I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, Wheeler Park Centre, is that your local sort of?
Yeah, we're really close to
Shopping
Wheeler
centre.
Park Center.
Yeah. Anyway, that's enough of that. So yeah, I'm going to do a little quiz. Don't get too excited. It's not great. Basically, I've been looking up famous Canadians.
There's not many of us. We should have a good chance.
Yes.
In all honesty, I've started writing a list, and then I checked online, and I realised some of them weren't Canadian. So I did have Weird Al Yankovic, and then I realised he was not actually Canadian.
No.
So
We'll take him though. We'll claim him.
We'll take him.
He's a legend. He's a legend.
Oh yeah.
Basically, I'm just going to tell you a famous Canadian, and you just need to tell me where he was born. He or she. Sorry.
Where is
He or she was born.
Okay.
I won't get
Okay,
this.
and I've got a little bit of trivia for each person. So,
Okay.
right, the first one, absolute acting legend, comedian, Martin Short.
Oh, I would probably think Toronto, Ontario.
Ooh.
Am I close? You
Is
guess.
that-
That's as good a guess as I can give you. I'd say Ontario. I don't know what city.
It's a good guess. You've got Ontario, right? But it's actually in Hamilton,
Oh, that's not
Which-
far from
which
Toronto.
is from Moncton, 973 miles.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a drive.
So, yeah, okay. Number 2, Ghostbusters legend, Dan
Dan
Aykroyd.
Aykroyd.
He was
I
also
want to
in
say I wanted to say he's further west. Maybe Vancouver?
I don't think he's from Vancouver.
No.
But I don't know exactly. It would be Alberta.
No, you're well
No.
off. Ottawa?
Oh, Ottawa, Ontario.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh shit.
we'll just guess everything in Ontario.
Ontario.
Which is 697 miles from Moncton. Now, next one, sadly missed, John Candy.
Yes.
Oh, I feel like he was from a smaller town in Ontario, but I'm not sure where. I don't know.
London, Ontario?
No. He was actually born in Toronto.
Ah, shit!
Yeah.
That's not a smaller.
Yeah.
That's not smaller.
Which is 934 miles from Moncton. There's a bit of a theme here.
Spotting a theme.
You know,
with the
in
distance here.
Canada we go by kilometers, not miles.
Okay. I can convert it.
It's okay.
I'll just times it by 1.6. It's fine. Oh no, it's divided, isn't it? 1.6 kilometers to. Oh yeah, no, that's right. Times by 1.6. So next up, absolute legend, Jim Carrey.
Oh,
You know what? I don't know where he was born, but he did have a mansion in, I think, Newmarket, because I used to work up there. And I was like right outside the gate of his mansion, but I don't think he was born there.
Are you sure about that?
Was he born in Newmarket?
He was. He was born in Newmarket,
So the reason I know that is because I worked up there. For about
which
6
is
months.
913 miles, which is probably about 1,500 kilometers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sounds all right.
Next up, absolute legend. All these Canadians are legends. It's so cool.
Right? We're all in one.
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox.
How did I not even know he was Canadian? What? Do I get kicked out of Canada?
Yes.
Can I go to somewhere? I'm going to the UK and they're not wearing masks.
Yeah.
I'll give you a
Probably
clue.
Ontario.
Somewhere Ontario.
You're well off. Well,
Oh, is he in Vancouver? Everybody either comes from like Vancouver or Ontario, and then
Ooh.
French Canadian actors come from Montreal.
what's in between? Think of something in between.
Newfoundland and PEI, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick, Quebec, Ontario. From there you see Manitoba, Saskatchewan.
I'll give you a clue. Their ice hockey team. I only know this because of Bret Hart. But
Winnipeg,
their ice hockey team is the
Calgary.
Oilers.
Oh, the Oilers? Edmonton?
Correct, Edmonton. Yeah, which is 2,869 miles from
A
Moncton.
little bit longer drive.
So I can sit here and name off all the Canadian hockey teams just like that.
There's not many.
Right. Now I'm going to struggle pronouncing where this person was born. Sadly missed again. Absolute legend. Don't call him Shirley. It's Leslie Nielsen.
Oh,
Man, I didn't. I have no idea where he's from.
Is he from Ontario?
No.
Shit.
No. He.
Think of a one that he can't pronounce.
Yeah.
They're from Saskatchewan.
Oh,
Saskatchewan?
he is. He was born in. It's either Regina or Regina.
Regina.
Rhymes with fun.
Regina.
which is how far, Dobbs?
That is 2,374 miles. So what's that?
Do you know, it's
3,500?
absolutely baffling that there is a country that has a span of 2,000 plus miles. Like, what is it, 800 and something miles from the top of the UK, from Scotland, the bottom where we are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I was
800 miles. Like, you can drive it in a day.
Yeah. Well, when
The
I was on
length of
Google
our
Maps
country.
earlier, and I was typing these distances in from Moncton, I just couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, I know. It's
Our
crazy.
says, like-
provinces are huge, and we don't have a huge population as far as Canada wide.
Oh, yeah,
goes. Like, we have a lot of wilderness there too.
It was literally like 45 hours drive. I was like, wow, that's ridiculous.
You missed the famous Canadian though.
Ryan Reynolds.
Well, I haven't finished yet.
Oh.
Yet.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, next up, again, very, very sadly missed. He's in the greatest film ever. He's in The Lost Boys. It's Corey Haim.
oh, dude.
And
Oh, now
Corey
I'm getting
Haim.
depressed.
I feel like Corey Haim.
I don't know that one.
Okay.
I'm kicked out of Canada now.
You don't know him, or you don't know where he's born.
I don't
He doesn't
him.
know Corey
I
Haim.
can't picture him.
The Lost
What?
Boys.
Lost Boys, License to Drive.
He's one of the two. Well, they was part of with Corey Feldman.
See, I probably
Yeah.
watched Lost Boys once.
Yeah, you would know him if you saw him. If I showed you
Oh,
a
yeah,
picture
I
of Corey
probably
Haim,
would.
you'd
Oh,
know.
starting to sweat.
Dobbs' favorite movie.
Oh, yeah, you need to
Sorry.
watch it. It's amazing.
I'm trying to think. Like, it's got to be on. It's got to be Ontario. No. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kitchener?
Toronto. No,
Oh,
Toronto,
Toronto.
which
Toronto.
is, as we've already established, 934 miles. Next up, again, another absolute legend. Ghostbusters, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Rick Moranis.
Wow, he's
He-
Canadian.
He is
Yes.
Canadian.
Yes.
Wow.
Every funny American's Canadian. Have you never
Yeah.
heard that before?
Everybody-
Jim Carrey, Dan Aykroyd. Is
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I feel like Rick Moranis is from Vancouver.
that
Wrong.
your final answer?
Oh, you're wrong.
Damn it! I thought he was further west.
No, he is also Toronto, Ontario,
Damn it!
which is
Maybe bands just come out of Vancouver.
which is
Maybe.
934 miles. Right. Next up, a very good wrestler. Very good wrestler. Trish Stratus.
Why did you pick her? Of all the Canadian wrestlers.
Why did you pick her?
That is exactly why he's picked her.
Two reasons why I picked her.
Great technical wrestler. Great technical wrestler.
I want to say she's from Toronto, but I'm not sure.
Well done. She is from Toronto. She's born in Toronto.
Yep.
Next up is this person actually lives closest to you.
Ellen Page, Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Okay. Right. We're moving on. Yeah, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Well done. How did you guess that?
Because
She's the closest one.
well, it's not. I guess it's not Ellen Page anymore. It's Elliot Page, right?
It is. I have written down Elliot Page.
Yeah. So we were really into what was it called with the time travel? Because they had a time. Yes. And we loved that. And I was like, oh my God, how are they going to do another season of that where she's Elliot Page? So I'm just like, I don't know how that looks now. I don't know how that changes the show. I don't know if they thought.
Well, she's very gender neutral though.
Even in the show anyway, as a character. So I think it's doable. But yeah, I remember looking that up and going, oh, every time we watch a show, I look up the actors, where they're from, and like,
is it on IMDb?
What?
Is that on IMDb?
Yeah.
Yeah, on the same. I'll watch a film or a show straight away. IMDb.
Have to check it out.
Trivia.
Yeah.
Right. Next up, I think Ollie probably had this person on his wall when he was a youngster, but it's James Cameron, director of Aliens, Avatar, Terminator 2.
Canadian either.
Titanic.
I didn't know he was Canadian. No.
Let's just go Toronto, Ontario to keep it
very close. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Kapuskasing in Northern Ontario.
Thought Chris Eubank had joined us then.
I don't think you're pronouncing it right.
I don't even know how to pronounce Kapuskasing. Anyway, it's 1,000.
How do you spell it?
Do you want me to do the kinetic? Yeah, Kilo Alpha Papa, Uniform Sierra, Kilo Alpha Sierra Indigo.
Stick it in the chat,
North Golf. Yes. Right, KAPUSKA.
Oh, hang on. KAPUS.
KA. Sing.
That seems like it's like in the Northwest Territories.
It's not made up. Kapuska Sing? I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know.
We'll go with that.
Next up is someone I had on my wall when I was a kid. Fantastic actress, Pamela Anderson.
She's
Canadian. I never knew that.
Canadian. I knew that. She was discovered at was it a football game in the stands?
Was it the Argonauts? I can't remember the football.
Oh, well then she's probably from Toronto.
No.
Damn it, Vancouver.
No, it is my next guess is it's from
London?
Alberta area there, Rough Rider, Saskatchewan, something like that.
No, she is Ladysmith in British Columbia.
Oh wow!
Really? I had no idea.
I didn't know she was from BC.
Which is 3,487 miles.
3,000. How wide is Canada?
It's ridiculous. That wasn't even like.
That's what she said.
That's not even end to end of the country. It's mad.
Bloody
hell.
We like our space, all right? We like our space.
I know, it's great.
Yeah.
6 feet is not a problem.
Next up is probably someone Ryan had on his wall. And it's the Hart family.
Bret Hart.
So, Bret
the
Hart,
whole
Owen
Hart
Hart
family is
in Calgary.
Yep, Calgary, Alberta.
I didn't know that. Oh my ear.
And that is 2,801 miles from Moncton. I don't know if I should say this one. Do you know what Essex called you the other day, Tim? He said what you look like.
I remember you said it looked like I was a murderer or something.
Yeah. This is going to be a dodgy one. It's Paul Bernardo. Paul Bernardo.
Oh, Paul.
He was known as the Scarborough.
Oh, Ontario, Scarborough, Ontario.
Yes, he's born in Toronto, Ontario. I won't go through what.
Is this like a serial killer or something?
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. You could have picked some.
That's our
Wayne
famous
Gretzky
Canadian.
And Donovan Bailey.
But it's too obvious. And
Greg Rosecki.
Well, apparently he's British. Next, the
Till he
last
started
one,
losing.
yeah, well, I've done it out of 15. I've added a couple more which I'll go into, but the last one, I think, Blunners, you definitely had this person on your wall, 100%. It's Divine Brown.
I don't even know who that is.
Hugh Grant. He was arrested with Divine Brown in his car.
Oh, Lady of the Night.
Yes, yes. But if you look her up on Google, she's actually an actress now.
Oh,
so she's
In
on
what kind of
IMDb.
movies?
I didn't. I was too scared to look on the thumbnails.
The kind you'd probably need to put your phone on incognito mode.
Yeah.
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 Let's go Toronto, Ontario.
You would be correct. Well done.
Yeah. I know my streetwalkers very well. Actresses, whattever.
She's on a young
She's
street.
a bona fide actress. Yeah, I'll have to look up her films later on.
Oh.
So that's basically the end of it. But I did have Ryan Reynolds, but I didn't put him in my 15
How did a serial killer get on the list before Ryan Reynolds?
because I thought it'd be funny because someone said to him,
All right, I'm glad the victims found it very funny.
yeah, this is not live. It's all right. We can edit that out.
Nice.
So yeah,
Sure about
Ryan Reynolds. He is from Vancouver,
Yeah,
and which is 3,435.
it's a long way.
Yeah.
Very long way. I did pick someone else, but I don't think I'm going to read them out.
Well, I expect you to.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
you got it.
Chris Benoit.
Oh, I know why.
Oh,
Yeah.
of all wrestlers, come
I know.
on.
I just googled famous
So
ones.
many Canadian wrestlers.
Yeah,
Chris Jericho as well.
Yeah, Jericho,
Mhm.
MK,
But yeah, Chris Benoit.
Kenny
from
Omega.
Montreal.
Edge.
Montreal, Quebec. Oh, Edge. You could have had Edge.
Yeah,
It's the last name that gave it away.
yeah.
So
Oh,
I've
definitely.
been-
If it's a French last name, they're from Montreal or
Oh,
Quebec City.
okay.
Yeah.
And I've looked up famous people from Moncton.
There's none.
Now there is. There's a chap. He's no longer with us, sadly. Don Jardine, who was a wrestler.
There
he
is
was
another
known-
wrestler too from in and around the Moncton area.
Oh,
Who's that?
Kurgan?
that's it's his wrestling
Is it?
name there.
The big tall
Um,
dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
He was on Sherlock.
Robert Millay.
Yeah, Robert Millay. He was
Yeah.
on
He's been in a bunch of movies.
the Sherlock Holmes movie.
He's in 300.
Didn't
Big
he
Monster
hurt?
Guy.
Didn't he hurt?
He knocked out
Robert Downey Jr.
Downey Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, by mistake.
It was an accident. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't come up. No, I googled famous
Yeah.
people. And he didn't come up.
I've actually ran into him at a Walmart, and
He's a mountain of a man.
he has to duck under the door to
Really?
get in.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
You wouldn't
Wow.
believe
Wow.
it's shocking to
Yeah.
stand beside him there. I come up to his belt.
Yeah. He's just like a regular guy. He works a regular job, and then every now and again he's in a
Yeah.
A-list movie.
Well, I think his movie career is doing well enough that I don't know if he has a regular job.
Oh, he might not. Yeah.
Oh, fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Don Jardine, he's known as the Spoiler and the Super Destroyer. He did pass away, sadly, in 2006. But he is famous for training The Undertaker.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
that's
that.
pretty cool.
Don Jardine. Yeah.
Nice.
So, well, that's the end of the quiz. Well done.
I won. I feel pretty good about that. I won.
You won.
Yeah.
We're gonna give it to you.
Okay.
Lovely Dorbs.
Yeah.
Couldn't have pulled any of that out of a box, though, could you?
No. Oh, there's a place not necessarily near you. It's 165 miles, but Prince Edward Island.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that named after Prince Edward?
I have no
I
idea.
have no idea.
Because
What,
that's
the
quite-
current Prince Edward? It must be
Yeah.
a historic Prince. It's
It's
not going to be the
gotta be,
Prince
surely.
Edward now, is it?
Sure,
I
it's
was
not-
thinking,
yeah,
what a
it's the first
strange
one.
royal to have it named after.
It's a small little island.
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
one of those provinces you can drive across in not that long.
A couple hours. or
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe.
less. Yeah.
But beautiful. Like you won't find any littering there. Like it's well taken care of. Really, really beautiful.
Very
Yeah.
tourist.
Very touristy. Yeah.
It's one of the things that Canada has pulling people towards it is just it just looks like a beautiful country.
Oh yeah. Some of the hiking here is amazing. Like I love to go hiking in the wilderness because it's just awesome. Or like we have the Atlantic Ocean here, and so to go visit that's pretty cool. We have the highest tides, which is pretty neat.
I find it strange because of the people that when they come to visit here, they have to go see the ocean. I'm like, why? It's just
because we're just
it's like a big deal. Like, oh, you can see the ocean there. I'm like, yeah, it's just water.
That's how we
take it for granted, right?
Yeah, we get it with our friends. If our friends from Manchester or Nottingham come down, the first thing they want to do is go to the beach, because to go to the beach, if you live in Manchester in the UK in the Midlands, you've got to drive left or right, a few hours to get to the beach, which I know for, probably driving a few hours in Canada is like, it's whatever, that's fine.
Exactly.
But driving a few hours here is like, oh, really? Is it more than an hour away? Do we have to go?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Awesome. Right. I'm just looking at the time, and I think Dorbs' quiz is a wonderful way to end our stream with you guys.
You guys either need to drink coffee or go to bed because it's late there now.
Yeah, it's 11 there.
It's
now.
getting late.
Yeah,
getting late.
Yeah, it's 11.
But no, this has been really entertaining. We really appreciate you giving up your time to come.
Oh
and speak
my god!
Oh, we appreciate
our
you guys.
Yes,
That's so cool.
a little slice of retro paradise.
any time at all, and we would just really appreciate you guys accommodating us for the different, like the time change and for the different day of the week. Like, super awesome.
Honestly,
we love to go on as many of these as we can because we just love to be a part of the community.
Beautiful. We're still trying to find where we fit in the community, so we're we just love chatting to everybody.
That's awesome.
Good.
We'll probably be in touch because I think we have some plans for some things towards the end of the year. So
that'd be awesome.
Nice.
We'll be in touch and see how things progress. See if you want to come and speak to us again. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll keep in touch. So give you guys a chance to throw some plugs out there. Where can people find you? What sort of things can people find you?
All right, you're the social media person here in this group.
I mean, we're always on YouTube. You can find us there, Retro Rivals, on Twitter and Instagram as well. I try to post semi-regularly, just basically whatever comes up in my mind. I post it on there and see if people like it, pretty much. But we just have fun. People tell us all the time, it's just they enjoy our banter. We have our friend Dennis on sometimes. He livens it up. We just do what we enjoy. And if people like it, great. If they don't, we'll try again next time.
Brilliant. Yeah. So if people that are watching, if they've not gone over to your channel, they absolutely should do. It's a great channel, like you say. It's good banter. It's good fun.
That's all we do.
Head on over to Retro Rivals. Give them a subscribe. Keep up to date with what they're putting out there. And as always for us. Thanks so much for joining. Anyone that's watching, just subscribe.
Just got a message, Ollie.
Yes.
Roger's not in the chat, but he's just texted me saying, "Can you play Laser Eyes as we go out?"
This is a thing we had.
It's a brilliant video. I love it.
We had a bit of a reshuffle in terms of who is Retro Gaming Revival, and Tim came and joined us properly.
Brilliant.
And when he came over and joined us, Ryan made a little intro video for him, which is now just sort of become infamous among a few people that tend to watch us regularly. And I think Ryan's going to have to play it in a second.
Yeah, there you go.
You're going to play it to.
If everyone says good night, I'll play it. And as long as Tim's happy for me to play it.
Yeah, play the later.
Beautiful.
Bye,
good night, everyone.
Thank you so much.
See you again.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.